Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Say hello in the comments, let us know where you're watching from and what time it is. Get comfortable, sit back, relax, and let's dive in. The Dimming. Book 1. Audiobook and narration provided by Frostfall Audio. Chapter 1. Christmas Bullets. The liquor store smells like piss and copper. I'm pressed against what used to be the vodka aisle, shelves empty except for broken glass and a rat skeleton, and Chloe's shoulder is digging into my ribs. She's not breathing. Neither am I. Outside, 3 bulbs flicker across the street. Red, green, red again. My hand finds my sternum where the dog tags used to hang. Press once, twice. The metal's been gone for years, but the habit's stuck. Military code, Chloe whispers. Her breath fogs in the cold. 3 flashes, 2 pulses. That's an evac signal. I don't ask how she knows. Don't care. What I care about is the sound, a low groan building into the dark, bass note you feel in your pelvis before you hear it. The rotten are waking up. How many bulbs, I say? 8 on the string. Someone strung Christmas lights across a storefront. She shifts her weight. Her pistol comes up. We need to kill them before. The groan gets louder, closer. I can hear the shuffle drag of feet that don't lift anymore, just scrape concrete. My rifle's already up, but my hands are shaking because this is the part where we die. This is always the part where we die. Chloe fires. The first bulb shatters. Then the second. The muzzle flash burns white frames into my retinas. Her profile, the rain-streaked window, the empty street beyond, and I'm blind for 4 seconds. When my vision clears, she's already moving, firing again, glass raining down on asphalt. The groaning stops. She shot out every bulb, all 8. The string hangs dark and the street goes quiet except for the rain and my heartbeat hammering in my ears. They'll wake, I say. My voice sounds far away. The noise. They were already waking. She ejects the magazine, checks it, slides it back in, doesn't look at me. The light would have pulled every rotten in 6 blocks. Now we've got maybe 10 minutes before the stragglers figure out where the shots came from. I stare at her, at the gun, at the empty street where the bulbs used to glow. She saved my life by risking hers. Spent 8 rounds she can't replace to keep me breathing. Who sent the signal, I say? Don't know. She's already moving toward the back exit, stepping over a shopping cart, a pile of rags that might have been a person once. But that's military code, proper spacing. Whoever strung those lights knew what they were doing. Could be a trap. Could be. She stops at the door, glances back. Her face is shadowed, but I catch the edge of something. Not hope. Hope's too expensive. More like curiosity. Or it could be the battery. The myth. The last evac point, the place where the government supposedly still has power, clean water, walls that keep the dark out. Every survivor knows the stories. Most of us stopped believing them around the time we started eating rats. But Chloe's looking at me like she's waiting for something. A decision. A commitment. I touch my sternum again. Press. The habit grounds me when everything else is sliding. We follow it, I say. Yeah. Yeah. She nods once. Pushes the door open a crack. Cold air rushes in, carrying the smell of wet cement and something rotten. The velvet pressure of darkness wraps around us as we slip out into the alley. Behind us, the Christmas lights hang dead and dripping. Ahead, somewhere in the black, someone's waiting. Or something is. We move fast, staying low. Chloe leads because she always leads. Air Force training, she told me once, back when we still bothered with backstory. Now we just move. Her boots don't make sound. Mine do. I'm trying to match her rhythm, but my knee pops every 3rd step and the noise makes my teeth ache. The alley opens onto a side street. Burned out cars, a pharmacy with the windows smashed, a bicycle chained to a pole, front wheel missing, frame rusted orange. Chloe stops, holds up a fist. I freeze. She's listening. I try to listen too, but all I hear is rain and my own pulse, and somewhere far off a dog barking. Or maybe not a dog. Maybe something that used to be. Clear, she says. We cross the street. My rifle's up, finger off the trigger, but close. The old rules, the ones they drilled into us during basic, don't apply anymore. Now you shoot first because hesitation kills you. I learned that the hard way. Lost a friend because I couldn't pull the trigger fast enough when his eyes went cloudy and his skin started splitting. Lost my son the same way. I shoved the thought down. Not now. Not here. Chloe ducks into a subway entrance. The stairs descend into nothing. Pure black, the kind that swallows sound. She pulls out a piece of chalk, marks the wall. 2 lines, across. Her system. Marks every place we've been so we don't loop back. We're going underground, she says. For how long? However long it takes to put distance between us and that liquor store. She's already moving down the steps, one hand on the rail. They'll track the gunshots. We need to disappear. I follow because what else am I going to do? Die alone in a subway? Die alone on the street? At least with Chloe, I've got a chance. She's kept me alive this long, 3 weeks since we crossed paths in a grocery store, both of us going for the last can of peaches. She won. I lived anyway. The subway tunnel smells like mold and old piss. Water drips somewhere. My eyes adjust slow, shapes emerging from the dark. Tracks, a platform, graffiti on the walls that says the light will save you in spray paint 3 feet tall. Chloe spits. Choir propaganda, she says. I've heard of them. The Pale Choir. Light worshippers. Raiders who wear headlamps like halos and preach that artificial light is salvation. They're the reason half the survivors won't touch a flashlight even if it means walking blind. They recruiting? I say. They're executing. She stops, crouches, listens. Anyone who won't convert gets strung up under stadium lights until the rotten come. Public example. I don't ask how she knows. Her scars tell enough stories. We walk the tracks for what feels like an hour, maybe more. Time's weird in the dark, stretches and compresses, plays tricks. My stomach's empty and my throat's dry and my knees screaming, but I don't say anything because complaining wastes breath. Chloe stops again. Deer, she whispers. I don't see it at first. Then I do. Shape in the tunnel ahead, 4 legs, head down. Drinking from a puddle. It hasn't noticed us yet. Chloe's already moving, rifle coming up slow. She gestures. Stay. I stay. She creeps forward. The deer's ears twitch, but it doesn't bolt. She's 10 feet away. 5. The rifle comes up. I watch her breathe. In. Out. Steady. She fires. The deer drops. The sound echoes forever, bouncing off tile and concrete, screaming down the tunnel in both directions. My ears ring. Chloe's already running toward the carcass, knife out. Help me, she says. I stumble over. The deer's still warm, blood spreading dark on the concrete. So she's cutting fast, efficient, opening the belly, pulling out the organs. Steam rises in the cold air. We need to move, I say. The noise? I know. She's elbow deep in the carcass now, sawing at the rib cage. Grab the hind legs. I grab. She cuts. We work in silence except for the wet sounds in my breathing, and somewhere far off, maybe a mile, maybe less, a groan starts building. Chloe. Almost done. The groan gets louder, then another joins it, then 3 more. Chloe. Got it. She pulls free a haunch of meat, slick and dark, wraps it in her jacket. Go. We run. The groaning swells behind us, echolocating, bouncing off the walls. I don't look back. Looking back slows you down, and slow gets you taken. I learned that too. Chloe veers left, up a service ladder. I follow, rifle banging against my back, hands slipping on wet rungs. She pushes open a grate, and we tumble out into an alley behind a Chinese restaurant. The signs still lit, emergency backup, red neon dragon flickering on and off. We freeze. The light pulses. On, off, on. Chloe raises her pistol. Don't, I say. It's going to wake them. We don't have enough rounds. She looks at me. The neon reflects in her eyes, red then dark, then red again. We can't stay here, she says. I know. The groaning's getting closer. I can hear them in the tunnel below, shuffling, scraping, following the scent of blood and noise and us. Chloe makes a decision. She always makes decisions. She shoots the neon dragon. Glass explodes, the light dies. Darkness rushes back in, and I can finally breathe. Run, she says. We run. 3 blocks later, we stop in what used to be a dentist's office. Chloe bars the door with a filing cabinet, checks the windows, marks the wall with her chalk. I collapse against the counter and try not to vomit. She pulls out the deer meat, unwraps it. The smell hits me. Iron and earth and something raw. We eat in the dark, she says. I know the rules. You flicked your rifle's safety off back there. I freeze. What? In the subway, when the deer dropped, you flicked your safety off and the metal clicked. She's not looking at me, just cutting the meat into strips with her knife. Sound carries. You almost woke them. My stomach drops. She's right. I did. I remember now the instinct, the old training, finger finding the switch. Habit I can't shake. I'm sorry, I say. Don't be sorry. She finally looks up. Her face is tired, older than it should be. Be better. She holds out her hand. I don't understand at first, then I do. No, I say. Flashlight, she says. It's my dad's. It's a liability. Chloe? Flashlight. Now. I pull it from my pack. The metal's worn smooth from years of my thumb rubbing the same spot. My dad carried it in Desert Storm. Gave it to me the day I shipped out. Told me it'd keep me safe. It didn't. I hand it over. She takes it, turns it over once, then pockets it along with my batteries. 4 AA Duracell copper tops I've been saving for emergencies. The world's already off, she says. I want to argue. Want to say we'll need those batteries someday, that we'll find a way to turn the lights back on, that my son Elias might still be out there waiting for me to come home with working flashlights and hope. But I don't. Because she's right. The world's already off. We sit in the dark and eat raw deer meat and don't talk. Outside, the rain keeps falling. Inside, Chloe's breathing evens out and mine follows, and for a moment, just a moment, I let myself believe the signal was real. That somewhere out there, the battery's waiting. That we might actually make it. Then I hear the shuffle drag of feet outside the window, and I remember, hope's too expensive. We'll follow the signal anyway. Chapter 2. The Dimming Law. The deer meat sits heavy in my gut. Chloe's cleaning her knife on a dental bib, the fabric already dark with old stains. I'm watching the window, boarded, but there's a crack where the plywood doesn't quite meet the frame, enough to see shadows move outside. They're circling, I say. 3 of them. She doesn't look up. Been counting their footsteps, same pattern every 90 seconds. I don't ask how she can tell. She just can. My knees throbbing where I banged it on the ladder. I press my palm against it, feel the heat through my jeans. Probably swelling. Probably going to hurt worse tomorrow. If there is a tomorrow. We should move at moonrise, Chloe says. How long's that? She glances at her watch. Wind up, no batteries. 2 hours, maybe less. 2 hours sitting in the dark with 3 rotten outside and the memory of my rifle safety clicking in a tunnel. 2 hours thinking about Elias and the last time I saw him, his face going slack as the spores took hold, my friend's hand on my shoulder saying it's too late. It's already too late. I touch my sternum. Press, press. Stop that, Chloe says. What? The chest thing. You do it every time you're spiraling. I drop my hand. She's still cleaning the knife, precise strokes, the blade catching the faint moonlight from the window crack. Her notebook's tucked in her jacket pocket. I've seen her draw in it once, charcoal sketches of buildings she remembers. Never people, just empty structures. Tell me about the dimming, I say. She stops, looks at me. You know the dimming. Tell me anyway. She sighs, sheathes the knife. Light wakes them, she says. Artificial light. Doesn't matter if it's a bulb, an LED, a phone screen. Even a glowing watch face will do it. The fungus responds to photons, reactivates the host nervous system. 1 lumen for 2 seconds and they're awake. What about fire? Fire's worse. Bright and unpredictable. You light a match, you might as well ring a dinner bell. I know all this, everyone knows this, but hearing her say it out loud makes it real again. Concrete. A rule we can't break. Daylight's safe, she continues. Sun's natural, doesn't trigger the fungus, but cloud reflection off glass buildings can create glare pockets. Seen it happen. Woman stepped into a reflected beam and woke up 50 rotten in an office building. They pulled her through a window. Jesus. No Jesus, Chloe says. Just physics. Outside, one of the rotten groans. The sound vibrates through the floor, up through my boots, into my pelvis. I taste metal. Chloe counts on her fingers. Silent. Timing the intervals. 89 seconds, she says. Same pattern. They're dormant, just shuffling. If we're quiet, they won't track us. What if we're not quiet? Then we run. She says it like it's simple, like running's always an option. But my knees swelling and I'm carrying 40 pounds of gear, and the last time I ran from Rotten, I left a friend behind because I couldn't carry both of us. I touch my sternum again. Can't help it. Can't help it. Chloe doesn't tell me to stop this time. Moonrise comes slow. The light seeps through the window crack, pale and thin, enough to see shapes but not details. Chloe's already moving, checking her pack, tightening straps. She moves like water, no wasted motion, everything efficient. I try to stand, my knee buckles. Let me see it, she says. It's fine. It's not fine. Sit. I sit. She kneels, presses her fingers into the joint. Pain shoots up my thigh, and I bite down hard enough to taste blood. Swollen, she says, but not torn. You'll live. Thanks for the diagnosis. You're welcome. She pulls out a roll of medical tape, scavenged from somewhere, stained yellow, and wraps my knee tight. 3 loops, each one precise. When she's done, she sits back on her heels. You need to tell me when you're hurt, she says. Why? Because if you go down out there, I need to know whether to drag you or leave you. The words land flat. No malice, just fact. You'd leave me, I say. She stands, brushes dust off her knees. Depends on the situation. That's comforting. Comfort's not my job. She slings her pack on, checks her pistol. My job is keeping us both alive. Sometimes that means hard choices. I know she's right. Knew it the moment we met in that grocery store, both of us staring at the last can of peaches like it was the Holy Grail. She won because she was faster and I was too tired to fight. But then she tossed me a can of beans from her pack, dented, half-rusted, and said, "Don't spend it all in one place." That's when I knew she wasn't just another survivor. She was someone who made calculations, someone who weighed odds and came out ahead, someone I could follow. We go north, she says now. Follow the subway tracks to the river. From there, we find a boat. And then, the battery. If the signal's real, that's where it's coming from. And if it's not. She doesn't answer, just moves to the door, listens, waits. Outside, the rotten are still circling. 90-second intervals. Predictable. Chloe counts down on her fingers. 3, 2, 1. She opens the door. The alley's empty. Moonlight paints everything silver blue, shadows sharp enough to cut. Chloe moves first, low and fast, hugging the wall. I follow, trying to match her rhythm, but my knees screaming and my pack's rattling and I'm making too much noise. She glares back at me, points to my pack. I adjust the straps, pull them tighter. The rattling stops. We move. The rotten are behind us now. I can hear them shuffling through the dentist's office, knocking over chairs, groaning that low bass note that makes my bones ache. But they're slow, dormant, just following old patterns, old memories of movement. We turn a corner, then another. The buildings lean in close, windows dark, doors hanging open. Every shadow could be a threat. Every sound could be the start of something worse. Chloe stops. There's a vending machine ahead. Emergency backup lights still glowing red through the cracked glass. Inside, I can see rows of candy bars, chips, bottles of water. My mouth floods. No, Chloe says. We need food. We have food. We have raw deer meat. That thing's got actual calories. That thing's got a glowing light that'll wake every rotten in 3 blocks. I stare at the machine. At the bottles. At the peaches. There's a can of peaches right there on the 3rd row, next to the Doritos. Peaches. My dad used to buy them every Sunday, the good kind, in heavy syrup. We'd eat them on the porch while he told stories about the Gulf, about sand and heat and waiting. I miss peaches. We flip for it, I say. What? Flip a coin or a bullet. Heads we take the peaches, tails we move on. Chloe looks at me like I've lost my mind. Maybe I have. But then she reaches into her pocket and pulls out a single round, 45 caliber brass casing dull in the moonlight. "You're serious," she says, "dead serious." She flips it. The bullet spins, catches the light, lands in her palm. She doesn't show me right away, just looks at it, then at me. "Heads," she says. Relief floods through me. Stupid, dangerous relief. We approach the machine. Chloe pulls out her box cutter, the blade's nicked and stained but sharp, and starts prying at the coin slot. I keep watch, rifle up, scanning the shadows. The box cutter slips, the machine rattles, I freeze. The rattle echoes down the alley, bounces off brick, travels. Somewhere in the dark, something groans. "Faster," I say. I'm trying. The groan gets louder, closer. I can hear the shuffle drag now, feet scraping pavement. "Chloe." Almost. The coin slot pops. The machine door swings open. Chloe grabs the peaches, stuffs them in her pack. I grab a water bottle, then another. The groaning's right behind us now, maybe 20 feet, maybe less. "Go," Chloe says. We run. The machine's light flickers behind us. Then it shatters. I hear the glass break, the bulb die. Something big hit it. Something that was running. A basher. They're the worst kind. Fast. Strong. Still have enough muscle memory to sprint. I don't look back. We cut through a parking garage, up a ramp, out onto a street I don't recognize. My knees on fire and my lungs are burning and the pack slamming against my spine with every step. Chloe veers left into a building. Doors hanging open, lobby flooded ankle deep. We splash through up a stairwell into what used to be a law office. She slams the door, shoves a desk against it. We collapse. For a long time, neither of us talks. Just breathing, just existing. Finally, Chloe speaks. "You almost got us caught," she says. "I know. That machine was stupid. I know. You owe me an apology." I look at her. She's serious. "I'm sorry," I say. She nods, pulls out the can of peaches, hands it to me. "Don't waste them," she says. I hold the can, feel the weight, the promise. "Thank you," I say. She doesn't respond, just starts checking the windows, marking the walls with her chalk. Outside, the basher's still hunting. I can hear it roaring, throwing itself against doors, searching, but we're safe, for now. I open the peaches with my knife. The syrup smells like childhood, like Sundays, like before. I eat one, then another. Chloe watches me, doesn't ask for any. "You want some?" I say. "No." "You sure?" She pulls out a piece of deer jerky, chews it slow, I'm sure. We sit in the dark and eat our separate meals and don't talk. Outside, the city holds its breath, and somewhere north, the battery waits. Maybe. Chapter 3. Peaches and powder. The peaches are gone. I ate them all, every slice, then drank the syrup straight from the can until my teeth hurt. Chloe watched the whole time with that expression she gets when she's cataloging my failures. Didn't say anything, just watched. Now we're in a subway station that smells like mold and rust. Water drips from the ceiling, each drop hitting the platform with a sound like a heartbeat. Slow, steady, wrong. I'm regretting the peaches. My stomach's cramping and I need to piss, but Chloe says we move in 5 minutes, so I'm holding it. Pressing my back against a tiled wall that's covered in graffiti. Someone spray painted, "They're not dead, they're just sleeping," in letters 3 feet tall. Below that, someone else added, "So are you." Chloe's studying a subway map on the wall. The paper's water damaged, whole sections missing where the western quarter should be. She's tracing routes with her finger, muttering numbers under her breath. "Problem," I say. Map's incomplete. So we wing it. She gives me a look that could peel paint. We don't wing it. We plan. Then plan. She pulls out her notebook, flips to a blank page, starts sketching the missing section from memory, her pencil moving fast, confident lines that curve and branch like veins. I watch her work. She's good at this, recreating things that are gone. But she always gets the proportions slightly wrong. Makes buildings taller than they were, streets wider, like she's drawing what she wishes existed instead of what actually did. "We'll follow the river north," she says, not looking up. "Find a boat at the old marina. From there, it's 80 miles to the dam." "That's where the battery is? A dam?" According to the schematics I found last week. She closes the notebook. Decommissioned hydro plant. Perfect place for a fortified position. Water, power, elevation. If it's so perfect, why'd they abandon it? She doesn't answer, just shoulders her pack and starts down the platform. I follow because what else am I going to do? The tunnel's darker than the station. No emergency lights down here, just pure black that swallows everything. I can't see Chloe, but I can hear her breathing, the soft scrape of her boots on the tracks. My hands find the rail. Cold metal. Damp. I follow it like a guideline, one step at a time, trying not to think about what might be down here in the dark with us. Stop, Chloe whispers. I stop. There's something ahead. I strain to hear it. Nothing at first. Then, yes, a sound like fabric rustling, like something dragging itself forward. How many? I whisper. One. Maybe two. My rifle's already up, but I can't see to aim. The darkness is total, oppressive, out pressing against my eyes until I see phantom lights that aren't there. We go around, Chloe says. How? Service tunnel. This way. She takes my hand, her palms rough, calloused, warm against mine. She pulls me left, away from the tracks, into a space I didn't know existed. The air changes, gets colder, smells different. Stone instead of metal. We move slow, her hand's the only anchor I have. Without it, I'd be lost, spinning in the dark like a compass without north. Something brushes my shoulder. I flinch hard enough that my elbow hits the wall. The sound echoes. Careful, Chloe says. Something touched me. Probably a pipe. It felt like fingers. It was a pipe. But she's moving faster now, pulling me along, and I can hear her breathing change. Shorter, quicker. She's scared too. She just won't admit it. The tunnel opens up. I can feel the space around us expand, the air moving differently. Chloe stops. We're in a maintenance room, she says. There should be emergency supplies. Stay here. Where are you going? To look. She lets go of my hand. The darkness rushes in. I press my back against the wall, rifle up, finger on the trigger guard. Not on the trigger, I learned that lesson, but close. Ready. I hear Chloe moving, the soft sound of her boots, the creak of a door. Then nothing. Chloe? No answer. Chloe? Still nothing. My heart's hammering now. I count the beats on my fingertips the way she does when she's trying to stay calm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I hear it. A groan. Low. Deep. The kind that vibrates through the floor. Chloe, I say. Louder now. Found something, she calls back. Her voice echoes, there's a vending machine. Is it glowing? Pause. Yeah, don't touch it. I'm not stupid, but I can hear something else now. Multiple groans, overlapping, getting closer. They're in the tunnel we just left, following our scent. Our noise. We need to leave, I say. Give me a minute. We don't have a minute, I hear her swear. Then the sound of metal scraping metal. She's prying the machine open. The groans are louder now. I can hear the shuffle drag. They're in the service tunnel, close enough that I can smell them, rotten earth and something sweet that makes my stomach turn. Chloe. Almost got it. The machine rattles. Loud. Too loud. The groans turn into shrieks. Run! I shout. Chloe appears out of the dark, her hand finding mine again. We run blind, crashing through the maintenance room, back into the tunnel. The shrieks are right behind us now, echolocating, bouncing off the walls. I stumble. My knee gives out and I go down hard, palms scraping concrete. Chloe hauls me up, doesn't slow down, just keeps pulling. My rifle's gone. I felt it slip from my shoulder when I fell. My gun. Leave it. I can't. Leave it. We burst out of the tunnel into a different station. This one's got moonlight coming through a grate in the ceiling, enough to see by. Chloe's still pulling me up the stairs, out onto the street. We don't stop running until we're 6 blocks away, collapsed in an alley behind a Chinese restaurant. The same restaurant from before. The dragon sign's still dark where Chloe shot it. I'm gasping for air, my knees on fire. Chloe's bent over, hands on her thighs, breathing hard. What did you get? I manage to say. She straightens, pulls something from her pack. A circuit board. Small, green, covered in tiny components I don't recognize. Night vision goggles, she says. Or they will be, once I wire this right. I stare at her, uh, at the board, at the empty space where my rifle used to be. I lost my gun for that, I say. You lost your gun because you fell, because we were running from the rotten you woke up. I didn't wake them up. The machine did. You opened the machine. You wanted the peaches. We're both shouting now. I don't even remember when we started. Chloe throws the circuit board at my feet. There. You win. No night vision. Hope those peaches were worth it. She turns to leave. I don't know what makes me do it. Maybe the guilt. Maybe the fear. Maybe just exhaustion. I'm sorry, I say. She stops. I'm sorry, I say again. You're right, I was stupid. I made noise. I almost got us caught. She doesn't turn around, just stands there in the alley, her back to me, shoulders tight. The peaches weren't worth it, I say, but I couldn't help it. My dad used to buy them every Sunday, and I needed something that tasted like before. Silence. Then Chloe turns. Her face is shadowed, but I can see her expression. Not angry. Just tired. Your dad, she says. Yeah. He's still alive? No. She nods, like she expected that answer. Mine either, she says. She picks up the circuit board, brushes it off, tucks it back in her pack. We need to keep moving, she says. The rotten will spread out, search the area. We've got maybe an hour before they find us. Okay. And next time, she says, when I say we don't do something, we don't do it. Okay. I mean it, Alan. It's the first time she's used my name. The sound of it in her mouth feels strange. Intimate. I know, I say. She offers her hand. I take it. She pulls me to my feet and we stand there in the alley, her hand in mine, both of us breathing, both of us alive. Come on, she says. We start walking. Behind us, the vending machine's glow finally dies, the emergency backup drained. The darkness rushes in to fill the space, and somewhere in that darkness I hear it. The sound of a peach hitting the floor. Rolling. Then the low, bass groan of something waking up. We run. Chapter 4. The Choir's Hymn. The headlamps blind me before I hear the voices. White light, hot and pure, slamming into my retinas. I throw my arm up, but it doesn't help. The after image burns. Chloe frozen mid-step, the alley walls, a dumpster overflowing with bags that haven't been collected in 5 years. Then someone hits me from behind and I'm on the ground, face pressed into asphalt that smells like gasoline and rust. Don't move, a voice says. Young, female, can't be older than 17. I don't move. Hands pat me down. Rough, efficient. They find my knife, my remaining bullets, the travel-sized bottles of shampoo I've been carrying since the world ended. They take it all. This one's clean, the voice says. Check the woman. I turn my head just enough to see Chloe. She's on her knees, hands behind her head, 3 headlamps trained on her face. Her eyes are squeezed shut, but her jaw's set. Furious. A girl steps into view. Maybe 16, head shaved on one side, the other half dyed white. She's wearing a headlamp like the others, modified with red filters that cast everything in bloody light. She kneels in front of Chloe, tilts her head like she's examining something fascinating. You're the one who shot out the Christmas lights, the girl says. Chloe doesn't answer. Saffron saw it from the tower, the girl continues. 8 bulbs, 8 shots, perfect accuracy. That kind of skill is wasted in the dark. Who's Saffron, Chloe says. Our mother, our light, the one who'll save you. The girl smiles. My name's Eden. What's yours? None of your business. Eden laughs. It's a bright sound, wrong for the situation. I like you. Saffron will too. She stands, waves to someone I can't see. Bring them. Hands haul me up. My wrists are pulled behind my back, zip-tied tight enough to cut circulation. Same thing happens to Chloe. She doesn't struggle. Smart. 5 against 2 is bad odds even when you're armed. They march us down the alley, around a corner, into a building I don't recognize. Used to be a hotel. The lobby's still got a chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Half the crystal's missing. The floor is covered in sleeping bags, camping gear, jury-rigged solar panels, and lights. So many lights. Strings of bulbs crisscross the ceiling. Lanterns hang from hooks. A portable generator hums in the corner, powering it all. The brightness makes my eyes water. Welcome to the choir. Eden says. They take us up 3 flights of stairs. My knees screaming, but I don't slow down because the kid behind me has a gun pressed into my spine and I don't think he's bluffing. The stairs open onto a ballroom. More lights here. Spotlights on tripods, all pointed at a stage where a woman sits in a wheelchair. She's older than the kids, maybe 50. Face covered in burn scars, the kind that look like they came from a fire that melted plastic. Her hair's white, pulled back in a severe bun, and around her neck, stitched into her skin, glowing faintly, are a dozen LEDs. She smiles when she sees us. Bring them closer, she says. Her voice is soft, almost gentle, the kind you'd use to calm a spooked horse. They push us forward until we're standing at the edge of the stage, the lights so bright I can barely keep my eyes open. The woman leans forward, studying Chloe. I know you, she says. Chloe says nothing. Air Force, the woman continues. Communications specialist. You were stationed at Peterson when the outbreak started. Chloe's jaw tightens. I was there too, the woman says. Civilian contractor. I was in the control room when you gave the order to cut the grid. Silence. Then Chloe speaks, her voice flat. I saved thousands of lives. You killed my daughter. The words hang in the air. The woman Saffron, I realize, stands from her wheelchair. She's not paralyzed. The chair's just a prop. My daughter was in an elevator when the power died, Saffron says, stuck between floors. By the time we got her out, she'd already turned. I had to. She trails off, touches the LEDs in her neck. I had to bring light to her darkness. I don't understand what that means. Then I see the photo in her hand, a little girl, maybe 8, standing in front of a Christmas tree. Saffron flips it over. The back is a light switch plate. She turns it off. You took my light, Saffron says to Chloe. So I built a new one, a better one, a world where darkness can't hide the monsters anymore. She steps down from the stage, walks toward us. Up close, the LEDs in her skin are brighter. I can see the scars where she cut herself open, the wires running beneath the surface. Join us, Saffron says. Both of you. We need people with your skills, people who understand discipline, structure. We're not interested, Chloe says. Saffron smiles, looks at me. What about you, Alan? I freeze. How does she know my name? Eden's very good at reading dog tags, Saffron says, or the ghost of them. You touch your chest 17 times an hour, always in the same spot. That's trauma, loss, the kind that makes people desperate for purpose. She reaches into her pocket, pulls out a bulb on a chain. It's not glowing, just glass and filament. Wear this, she says, and you'll never walk in darkness again. I stare at the bulb, at the chain, at Chloe beside me, her face hard as stone. And what do I have to do, I say. Give me her. Saffron points at Chloe. She's a sinner, Saffron continues. She chose darkness over light. She needs to atone. And you. She steps closer, close enough that I can smell the antiseptic on her skin. You need to choose. Do you want to keep stumbling through the black, hoping you don't die? Or do you want salvation? The room's too bright, too hot. I can feel sweat running down my back, soaking into my shirt. My fingers itch to touch my sternum, but my hands are zip-tied. I look at Chloe. She's watching me. Not angry, not pleading, just waiting. No, I say. Saffron's smile doesn't waver. Think about it. I said no. You'll change your mind. She turns, snaps her fingers. Eden appears with a metal box, tackle box size, covered in scratches. Saffron opens it. Inside are syringes, vials of clear liquid, scalpels. We'll give you some time to reconsider, Saffron says. Eden, put them in the tower. Let them watch the city. Let them see what darkness brings. Eden grins. Yes, Mother. They drag us up more stairs, narrow, spiraling, the kind that make you dizzy. My knee gives out twice, but they don't care. Just haul me back up and keep going. We end up in a bell tower. No bells anymore, just rope and pulleys and the smell of bird shit. They shove us into the corner, cut the zip ties on our wrists, then cuff us to the rope instead. The metal bites into my skin. Mother will visit you in the morning, Eden says. Think about her offer. The alternative isn't pleasant. She leaves. The door slams shut. We're alone. Chloe immediately starts working on her cuff, bending her thumb, trying to slip it through the metal loop. I've seen her do it before. Dislocated thumb, reset it later. Hurts like hell, but it works. Don't, I say. We need to get out. I know, but wait. She stops, looks at me. You hesitated, she says. What? When Saffron offered you the bulb, you hesitated. I said no. After 5 seconds. I don't know what to say to that. She's right. I did hesitate. The bulb was right there, close enough to take, and for a moment I thought, what? That maybe Saffron was right? That light could save us? No. But I thought about it, and that hesitation cost us. I'm sorry, I say. Chloe goes back to working on her thumb, bends it backward until I hear something pop. She gasps, sharp, pained, but doesn't stop. Her hand slips free. We need to kill the lights, she says. What? All of them. The bulbs, the lanterns, the generator. If we don't, we're dead. She's already moving toward the door. I try to follow, but the cuff holds me back. Chloe. She turns, looks at me with something like pity. I'll come back for you, she says. You can't take them all on your own. Watch me. She opens the door a crack, listens, then slips through. I'm alone. In the bell tower, cuffed to a rope, with no weapon and no plan and no idea if she's coming back. Below, I hear voices. Shouts. Then gunfire. Sharp cracks that echo through the building. The lights go out, all at once. Total darkness slams down like a curtain, and I hear screaming from below. The rotten are waking up. The choir must have been close to a horde, and without light they're exposed. More gunfire. More screaming. Then Chloe's back, breathing hard, covered in something dark I can't see but can smell. Blood. She unlocks my cuff with a key she took from somewhere. Run, she says. We run. Down the stairs, through the ballroom, past bodies I don't look at. Out into the street where the darkness is absolute and the groans are everywhere. We don't stop until we're 5 blocks away, collapsed in an alley that smells like piss and rain. I'm shaking. Chloe's holding her hand, the thumb swelling, turning purple. You killed them, I say. No. I killed the lights. The rotten did the rest. Saffron? Dead. Or close enough. I should feel something. Relief, guilt, anything. But all I feel is empty. Chloe pulls out her notebook, tries to draw, but her hand's shaking too much. She closes it, tucks it away. We lost the map, she says. What? Eden took it. When they searched us, it's gone. I stare at her. The map was our only guide. Without it, we're navigating blind. We'll find another way, I say. How? I don't know, but we will. She doesn't argue, just sits there, cradling her broken thumb, staring into the dark. And somewhere in the distance, I hear bells. Not church bells. Emergency bells. The choir's warning system. They're not all dead, and they're coming. Chapter 5. Glass Rain. The bells keep ringing. 3 distinct tones, high, low, middle, repeating in a pattern I don't recognize, but Chloe does. Alarm code, she says. They're calling reinforcements. From where? Doesn't matter. We need to go. Her thumb's swollen to twice its normal size, the skin stretched tight and shiny. She's holding it against her chest, breathing through her teeth. Let me see it, I say. We don't have time. Let me see it. She extends her hand. The thumb's bent wrong, joint dislocated at the base. I've seen this kind of injury before. My buddy in basic did it during a climbing exercise. The medic reset it in about 10 seconds. I wasn't a medic. This is going to hurt, I say. I know. I grip her thumb, feel for the joint, pull straight and twist. Something clicks back into place. Chloe makes a sound. Half gasp, half scream, then jerks her hand away. Fuck, she says. Fuck, Jesus. Better? She flexes the thumb, it moves, but she winces. Good enough. The bells are getting closer, or maybe there are more of them. Hard to tell. We move. The streets are a maze. Without the map, we're navigating by instinct and the faint pull of downhill slopes. Water flows to the river, so we follow the grade. Chloe's in front, me behind, both of us trying to stay quiet despite the bells and the distant sounds of the choir mobilizing. We turn a corner and almost run into it. A building. Except it's not just any building. It's a glass tower, 30 stories of reflective windows that catch the moonlight and throw it back in 1,000 directions. The whole structure glows like a beacon. Go around, Chloe says, but I'm staring at something. The front entrance is open, and through the doors I can see plants. Green, growing. Chloe, no. There's a garden inside. I said no. When's the last time we saw fresh food? She stops, turns. Her face is hard, but I can see the calculation happening behind her eyes, weighing risk against reward. 5 minutes, she says. In and out. We move fast, through the lobby, marble floors covered in leaves and dirt, to the elevators. They're dead, of course. We take the stairs, 23 flights, my knees screaming by the 10th floor, but I don't stop because Chloe's not stopping, and I'm not about to be the weak link. Not again. The stairwell opens onto a rooftop, and there it is. A greenhouse. Glass panels intact, rows of raised beds filled with tomatoes, lettuce, herbs I don't recognize. The air smells like earth and growing things. Like life. Chloe's already moving between the rows, checking for anything edible. I follow, slower, because there's something wrong about this place, something too perfect. How is this still here? I say. Solar panels, Chloe says, pointing to the roof. Automated watering system. Someone set this up before everything went to hell, and it's been running on autopilot ever since. Someone should have found it by now. Maybe they did. Maybe they're gone. Or maybe they're still here, I think, watching. I push the thought away. Focus on the food. We start harvesting, tomatoes, peppers, anything ripe. Chloe finds a duffel bag in a shed, starts filling it. I'm pulling glass shards off a tomato vine when I hear it. A voice. I wouldn't eat those if I were you. We spin. There's a man standing in the doorway, old 70s at least, wearing a bathrobe and slippers. His face is gaunt, eyes sunken. He's holding a radio. Old model, antenna extended. The tomatoes are fine, he says, but the peppers will give you the runs, trust me. Chloe's hand goes to her hip, finds empty space where her pistol used to be. The choir took it. Who are you, she says. Name's Harold. I live here. You've been here since the outbreak? More or less. He shuffles forward, Mike leaning on a cane. Figured if I stayed high enough, the rotten couldn't reach me. Turns out I was right. He looks at the duffel bag. At us. You're welcome to the food, he says, but there's something you should know. What, I say. He holds up the radio. I've been listening to signals, broadcasts. There's one that keeps repeating, same pattern, every night. 3 flashes, 2 pulses, military evac code. Chloe and I exchange a look. Where's it coming from, she says. North, like about 80 miles. He adjusts the antenna. Place called the Battery. Used to be a hydro dam. The signal's been running for weeks now. I was thinking about heading that way myself, but... He gestures to his legs. Arthritis. I wouldn't make it 10 blocks. You're telling us this why? Chloe says. Harold smiles. It's a sad expression. Because you're the first people I've seen in 3 months who aren't wearing light bulbs around their necks. And I figure if anyone's going to make it to the Battery, it's someone like you. He pulls something from his bathrobe pocket. A piece of paper, folded small. Hands it to Chloe. Subway maintenance plans, he says. Shows every tunnel, every access point. The dams marked in red. Should get you most of the way there without hitting daylight. Chloe unfolds it, studies it. Her eyes widen slightly. Approval, maybe, or surprise. Why do you have this? She says. I used to work for the city. Transit planning. When things went bad, I grabbed everything I thought might be useful. He shrugs. Never thought I'd actually give it away. Thank you, I say. Don't thank me yet. The route's dangerous. Flooded sections, cave-ins, and there's something else. What? The signal. It's not just a recording. Someone's broadcasting live. They're using the old Christmas light code, same pattern they used to hang in the city during the holidays. 3 flashes, 2 pulses. All is calm. Chloe goes very still. You recognize it, Harold says. She doesn't answer, just folds the map, tucks it into her jacket. We need to go, she says. Chloe, now. She's already moving toward the stairs. I grab a handful of tomatoes, stuff them in my pockets, and follow. Harold calls after us. Good luck. We don't respond. Just descend. On the 15th floor, Chloe stops, pulls out the map, studies it by the faint moonlight coming through a window. I sent that signal, she says. I wait. 5 years ago, when I was stationed at Peterson, we had a plan, an emergency evac point at the dam. I broadcast the code every night for a month, hoping someone would hear it. No one ever came. Why is it running now? I don't know. She looks at me, and for the first time since we met, I see fear in her eyes. What if it's a trap, she says. What if it's not? What if I'm walking us into something worse than the rotten? Then we deal with it. She holds my gaze. I can see her calculating, weighing, trying to decide if I'm worth the risk. Finally, she nods. Okay, she says. We go to the battery. Together? Together. She extends her hand, the thumb still swollen, but she grips firm. We shake, and somewhere far above us on the rooftop, I hear glass shatter, then screaming. Harold. Chloe's already running toward the stairs. I grab her arm. Don't, I say. He helped us. He's 23 floors up, and we have no weapons. By the time we get there, he'll be gone. We can't just... We can. We have to. She yanks her arm free, glares at me with something that might be hatred. But she doesn't run up the stairs. She runs down, and I follow, because that's what we do now. We run. We survive. We leave people behind. We hit the street at a sprint. The bells are closer now. I can see lights moving through buildings, headlamps sweeping the alleys. The choir's searching for us. Chloe veers left into a parking garage. We climb to the 3rd level, find a sedan with unlocked doors. Climb in, lock ourselves inside. We sit in the dark, breathing hard, waiting for the lights to pass. I'm sorry, I say. For what? Harold. She doesn't respond, just stares out the windshield at the city lights in the distance. Finally, he was dead anyway. You don't know that. Yes, I do. You heard the glass. The rotten broke through. He's gone. Maybe he got away. He had arthritis and a cane. He didn't get away. Silence. Then Chloe pulls out the map again, traces the route with her finger, the red line that leads north through tunnels and stations and flooded passages, all the way to the dam. We stick to the plan, she says. We find a boat. We get to the battery. We figure out who's broadcasting and why. And if it's a trap, then we blow it to hell and find another way to survive. She says it like it's simple, like survival's just a series of choices, each one leading to the next. Maybe it is. Or maybe we're both lying to ourselves. Outside, the lights sweep past, miss us by inches. We wait until they're gone. Then we keep moving. Because that's what we do. We keep moving until we can't. Chapter 6. The Rotting Saint. The bell tower's empty when we find it. Not abandoned. Empty. Like someone cleaned it out on purpose, took everything that mattered, and left only the bones. Chloe marks the wall with her chalk. 2 lines across. We're 6 blocks from the marina, she says. Should be there by dawn if we keep moving. And if we don't, then we find somewhere to hole up until nightfall. I don't like either option. Dawn's still 3 hours away and my knees barely holding. Every step feels like bone grinding against bone, cartilage turned to sand. But I don't say anything. Just follow her up the stairs. The bell tower's attached to a church, old Catholic, the kind with stained glass and carved saints watching from alcoves. Most of the windows are broken now. The saints are covered in graffiti. Someone spray-painted "Pray to the Light" across the Virgin Mary's face. Chloe spits. Choir, she says. We climb higher. The stairs spiral up, narrow and steep, the kind that make you dizzy. At the top, there's a platform with a view of the whole city, buildings dark against darker sky, the river reflecting moonlight like a scar. And in the center of the platform, chained to the bell supports, is a priest. He's wearing vestments, or he was. Now they're torn, stained, hanging off his frame like grave clothes. His face is gaunt, lips cracked, eyes sunken so deep they're just shadows. And stitched into his skin, running up his arms and across his chest, are light bulbs. Dozens of them, wired together, glowing faintly with battery power. He's still alive. Please, he whispers. His voice is barely there. Please. Chloe raises her pistol, aims at his head. Wait, I say. He's dying. I know, but what? You want to have a conversation first? The priest's eyes find mine. There's something in them. Recognition, or maybe just desperation. Darkness, he whispers. Please, I need darkness. Chloe lowers the pistol slightly, looks at the bulbs. They wired him, she says, turned him into a warning sign. Anyone who gets close will wake the rotten nearby. Can we cut the wires? Not without setting off the lights. The priest starts crying, tears running down his face over the bulbs dripping onto the platform. I prayed, he says, I prayed for salvation. They said light was the answer, but it's not. It's not. Chloe's jaw tightens. She raises the pistol again. Don't watch, she says to me. I turn away. The shot cracks through the tower. Echoes. I hear the priest's body slump against the chains. Then silence. When I turn back, Chloe's standing over him. Her face is blank, but her lips are moving. She's whispering something. It takes me a moment to recognize it. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven. I didn't know she knew it. When she finishes, she opens her eyes, sees me watching. I don't believe it, she says, but he did. Figured he deserved to hear it one more time. She pulls out her knife, starts cutting the bulbs off his body, one by one, methodical, dropping them into a pile at her feet. Help me, she says. I kneel. Start cutting wires. The bulbs come off easy, shallow stitches meant to display, not anchor. Whoever did this wanted the priest to suffer, but didn't care if the lights stayed on. As we work, I notice something. There's a notebook tucked into his vestments. Water damaged, pages swollen. I pull it out. Inside are names, hundreds of them, handwritten in cramped script. What is it? Chloe says. A registry. People he gave last rites to. I flip through the pages. Some names I recognize. Neighbors, friends, people I knew before. Most I don't. On the last page, there's a note. If you're reading this, I'm gone. The choir promised salvation, but brought only suffering. Don't trust the light. Don't trust Mother Lux. Find the dark. Find peace. Below that, a signature. Father Michael Reeves. Chloe reads over my shoulder. Mother Lux, she says. You know her? No, but I've heard the name. Leader of the choir, used to be a grid engineer before the outbreak. Now she's convinced artificial light can save humanity. By torturing priests, by making examples. Chloe takes the notebook from me, flips through it, stops on a page near the middle. Her face goes pale. What? I say. She doesn't answer, just closes the notebook, tucks it into her pack. We need to go, she says. Chloe, now. She's already moving down the stairs. I follow, my knees screaming, but I don't ask questions because her voice has that edge, the one that means she's seen something she can't unsee. We make it 3 blocks before I hear the echo. Gunshot reverb bouncing off buildings, traveling down streets, reaching ears that shouldn't hear it. The groans start, not close, not yet, but building. Multiple sources, converging. Run, Chloe says. We run. My knee gives out on the second block. I go down hard, hands scraping pavement, the world tilting sideways. Chloe hauls me up, doesn't slow, just drags me forward, her grip iron on my arm. I can't. You can. Chloe. Shut up and move. I move. We cut through an alley, over a fence, into a yard where a dog skeleton lies chained to a post. The chain's rusted through, but the skeleton's still there, like it never thought to leave. The groans are closer now. I can hear the shuffle drag, can smell them. Rot and earth and something sweet that makes my stomach turn. Chloe kicks in a door. We tumble inside. She slams it shut, shoves a couch against it. We're in a house, someone's home. There are photos on the walls, family portraits, vacation snapshots, a kid's crayon drawing taped to the fridge, all of it covered in dust. We collapse on the floor, my knees swelling again. I can feel the heat through my jeans. Chloe's breathing hard. She pulls out the notebook, opens it to the page that made her go pale. I lean over to see. It's a list. Names and dates, but one name circled in red ink. Monroe, Sarah, and David. March 15th, elevator 7B. I look at Chloe. Her face is stone. Your parents, I say. She doesn't answer, just stares at the page. Father Reeves gave them last rites, I say. He tried. Her voice is flat. But they were already gone by the time he got there, trapped in an elevator when I cut the power, starved before the rotten found them. Chloe, don't. It wasn't your fault. Wasn't it? She closes the notebook, tucks it away. Outside, the groans get louder. The rotten are searching, following the scent of blood and fear and living flesh. Chloe stands, checks the windows, boards them with furniture. We stay here until they pass, she says. How long will that take? However long it takes. She sits against the wall, pulls her knees to her chest. For a moment, she looks small, young, like the person she was before the world ended. Then her face hardens again, and the moment's gone. I sit beside her, close enough that our shoulders touch. My son's name was Elias, I say. She doesn't respond. He was 6, like dinosaurs, used to make me read the same book every night, some picture book about a T-Rex who was afraid of the dark. Why are you telling me this? Because you told me about your parents. Figured I owed you something in return. Silence. Then, where is he now? Don't know. Lost him in the first week. Friend of mine got infected, came at us before I could react. Elias ran, I chased, never found him. You think he's alive? No. Then why keep going? I don't have an answer for that. Outside, the groans start to fade. Moving away, searching elsewhere. We sit in the dark and listen to them go. And for the first time since we met, I let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, Chloe and I are more than survival partners. Maybe we're something like friends. Or maybe I'm just too tired to know the difference anymore. Either way, when she falls asleep against my shoulder, I don't move. I just sit there, guard her rest. Because that's what we do now. We guard each other's rest. Until we can't. Chapter 7. Battery Blueprints. The house smells like mold and old paper. When I wake up, Chloe's already gone, moved to the window, watching the street through a crack in the boards. Early morning light filters in, gray and thin. My knee feels like someone took a hammer to it. I try to bend it, and the joint locks send sparks of pain up my thigh. They're gone, Chloe says without turning around. How long was I out? 4 hours, maybe 5. She's holding something, the subway maintenance plans Harold gave us. The papers spread across the floor, weighted down with books at each corner. She's marked it up with pencil, circling stations, crossing out sections. The marina's here, she says, tapping a spot on the map. 3 miles northwest, but there's a problem. What kind of problem? The direct routes flooded, tunnel collapsed during the first year, water backed up, filled 6 city blocks. We'd have to swim. I think about that, about cold water, about darkness, about things that might be waiting under the surface. I can't swim, I say. She looks at me. You can't swim. Never learned. How does someone not learn to swim? Grew up in Arizona, not a lot of pools. She shakes her head. Goes back to the map. Fine. We take the long way. Around the reservoir, through the park, then north along the river. Adds 6 hours, but keeps us dry. What about the choir? They're south of us now, searching the financial district. We move fast. We can avoid them. She folds the map, tucks it into her jacket. Her thumb's still swollen, but she's using it now, wincing every time she grips something. Let me rewrap that, I say. It's fine. It's infected. It's fine. But she lets me anyway. I find medical tape in a bathroom cabinet, expired, the adhesive barely sticky, and wrap her thumb again. This time I add pressure, try to reduce the swelling. She watches me work, doesn't pull away. You're getting better at this, she says. At what? Not being useless. I almost laugh. It's the closest thing to a compliment she's given me. When I'm done, she flexes her hand, tests the grip. Thanks, she says. We gather our things. The duffel bag's still half full of tomatoes and peppers from Harold's greenhouse. I add some canned goods I found in the kitchen, soup, beans, things that won't spoil. Chloe's watching me. What? I say. Nothing. But she's smiling, just a little. The first real smile I've seen from her. We leave through the back door. The park used to be nice. There are playgrounds, walking paths, a pond with ducks. Now the playgrounds are rusted sculptures and the paths are overgrown and the pond is a stagnant pool that smells like death. We stick to the tree line, moving slow, avoiding open spaces. Chloe's in front, her hand resting on her hip where her pistol used to be. She still reaches for it sometimes. Muscle memory. I'm watching the pond when I see it. A body. Floating face down, arms spread wide. The clothes are too clean, too new. Chloe, I say. She stops, follows my gaze. Recent, she says. How recent? Hours, maybe less. We approach the edge of the pond. The body's wearing choir colors, white shirt, red armband. There's a headlamp still attached to the skull, the bull submerged, glowing faintly underwater. Chloe pulls out a branch, hooks the body, drags it to shore. It's Eden, the girl from the hotel, the one who smiled when she cuffed us. Her face is bloated, eyes open, throat cut. Internal power struggle, Chloe says. How do you know? The cut's clean, professional. This wasn't rotten. This was execution. She searches the body, finds a radio, a knife, 3 protein bars, takes them all. I should feel something. Pity, horror, anything. But I don't. Just relief that it's not us. We keep moving. The river's loud. Water rushing over rocks, turbulent and dark. There's a marina on the east bank, old tourist spot, used to rent kayaks and paddleboards. Now it's just rotting wood and algae. Chloe surveys the boats. Most are gone. A few remain, half sunk or capsized. We find one that's still intact. Small motorboat, outboard engine caked in rust. Think it runs, I say. Only one way to find out. She climbs in, starts checking the engine. I watch the tree line, the river, the buildings across the water. Tess, everything's quiet. Too quiet. Alan, I turn. Chloe's holding something. A gas can. Half full. Somebody left this, she says. Recently? Fuel doesn't last long. If it's still here, someone filled it in the last few months. She pours the gas into the tank, primes the engine, pulls the cord. Nothing. Tries again. Nothing. Third time, the engine coughs, sputters, then catches. The sound's deafening in the quiet echoing across the water. Shut it off, I hiss. She does. But it's too late. Across the river, lights flicker on. Headlamps, dozens of them. The choir. Go, Chloe says. We shove the boat into the water, climb in. Chloe yanks the cord again. The engine roars to life. We're moving, but so are they. I watch the lights multiply. They're running along the far bank, trying to keep pace. Some of them are shooting. I hear bullets whine past, see splashes in the water. Get down, Chloe shouts. I duck. She opens the throttle. The boat lurches forward, nose lifting, spray soaking us both. The lights fall behind, but I can still hear them. Shouting, coordinating. They'll follow us, I say. I know. What do? We get to the battery before they do. She steers us north. The river narrows, current getting stronger. We pass under a bridge where someone's hung a banner. The light will save you. Chloe flips it off as we pass. Despite everything, I laugh. Can't help it. The absurdity of it, fleeing for our lives, flipping off a banner. Chloe looks back at me. Grins. What? She says. Nothing. You're smiling. So are you. We're going to die, you know. Yeah. Probably within the next 24 hours. Probably, she laughs. It's that sharp bark again, but it's real. And for a moment, just a moment, I let myself believe we might actually make it. Then the engine sputters, dies. We coast for a few seconds. Then the current catches us, starts pulling us sideways. No, 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 Chloe says. She's yanking the cord. Nothing. We're drifting. Fast. Ahead. I can see rapids. White water. Rocks. Chloe, I know. She yanks the cord again. The engine catches. Dies. The rapids are 50 feet away. 40. She yanks one more time. The engine roars. She steers us hard right, away from the rocks, into calmer water. We're both breathing hard, soaked, alive. We need a new boat, I say. We need a lot of things. She kills the engine. We drift in silence for a while, letting the current carry us north. The sun's rising now. Golden lights spilling across the water, turning everything warm and bright. It's beautiful, and it's lethal. We need to find cover, Chloe says, before full daylight. How far to the battery? She pulls out the map, studies it. Her face falls. 80 miles, she says. At this speed, 3 days, maybe 4. Do we have that long? She doesn't answer, just starts the engine again and points us north. And behind us, somewhere in the distance, I hear the bells start ringing again. The choir's still hunting, and we're running out of places to hide. Chapter 8. The Blackout Baby. We pull the boat into a drainage culvert an hour before full dawn. The space is tight, barely enough room to crouch, but it's dark and hidden, and that's all that matters. Chloe ties the boat to a piece of rebar jutting from the concrete. I bail water with my hands, trying to keep us from sinking. The hull's got a slow leak. Not bad enough to swamp us, but bad enough to matter. We need to patch that, I say. With what? I don't know. Duct tape? Resin? We don't have either. We sit in silence. The water laps against the boat, against the culvert walls. Somewhere above us, the city wakes up. Birds, wind, the distant sound of something collapsing. My stomach growls. Chloe pulls out a tomato, bites into it like an apple. Juice runs down her chin. Want one? She says. Yeah. She tosses me one. It's warm, overripe, but it tastes like heaven. I eat it slow, savoring every bite. When I'm done, I wipe my hands on my jeans. Notice Chloe's staring at the map again. What are you thinking? I say. There's a hospital. She points to a spot on the map, 2 miles upriver. If we can get there, we might find supplies, medical gear, maybe even a better boat. And if it's occupied, then we deal with it. She says it like it's simple, like every problem has a solution if you're willing to get your hands dirty. Maybe she's right. We wait until noon, full sun, the safest time to move, then start the engine. The culvert spits us back into the river. The current's slower here, the water brown and thick with sediment. The hospital's on the west bank. 6 stories of broken windows and peeling paint. The emergency entrance is underwater. The river's risen since the outbreak, claimed the first floor. We tie the boat to a lamppost, climb out onto what used to be the parking lot. The asphalt's cracked, weeds growing through every fissure. Chloe moves toward the building. I follow. The entrance is through a second-story window, glass long gone, frame rusted. We climb through into a hallway. The smell hits me immediately. Antiseptic and rot. The hospital's dark inside. Emergency lights died years ago. We move by feel, hands on walls, feet shuffling forward. Stay close, Chloe whispers. Like I'd go anywhere else. We find the stairs. Climb. The steps are slick with something I don't want to identify. My knee protests every rise, but I ignore it. 3rd floor. 4th. Chloe stops. Hear that? She says. I listen. Crying. Faint. High-pitched. Coming from somewhere ahead. Baby, I say. No. Recording. We move toward the sound. Find a door marked maternity. Chloe pushes it open. The nursery. Rows of plastic cribs. Empty. But in the corner, there's a speaker playing a loop. Newborn, crying, over and over. And every time the cry plays, motion sensors trigger night lights mounted on the walls. The lights flicker on, off, on, rhythmic, hypnotic. Trap, Chloe says. For who? For anyone desperate enough to investigate crying. She's right. The lights are triggering constantly. Anyone or anything in the area would be drawn here, and if the rotten are nearby, we smash the sensors, I say. Or we use them. I look at her. There's formula, she says, pointing to a cabinet. High calorie, nutritionally complete. We need it. And how do we get it without waking every rotten in the building? She thinks. Then we time it. The lights pulse every 15 seconds. If we move during the dark intervals, stay frozen during the light, we might make it. That's insane. You have a better idea? I don't. We approach the cabinet. Chloe counts down. 3, 2, 1. The lights go dark. We move. Fast, quiet. 10 steps. The lights flicker on. We freeze. Mid-step. Not breathing. The crying loops. The lights pulse. Dark again. We move. 5 more steps. Lights on. Freeze. My knees shaking. The position's agony, but I don't move. Don't breathe. Dark. Move. We reach the cabinet. Chloe yanks it open. Inside. Formula tins. Dozens of them. We grab as many as we can carry, stuff them into the duffel bag. The lights come on. We freeze. But something's different. The crying's stopped. Chloe looks at me. Her eyes are wide. The recording's over, which means the motion sensors are about to reset, which means the door behind us slams open. A rotten, Big one, basher size. It's wearing a hospital gown, name tag still pinned to its chest. The fungus has split its face open, spores visible beneath the skin. It sees us. The lights pulse on. The rotten roars. "Run," Chloe shouts. We run. Through the nursery, into the hall, down the stairs. The rotten's behind us. I can hear it crashing through cribs, knocking over equipment. My knee gives out on the second floor. I go down hard. Chloe doesn't stop. She keeps running, and for a second, just a second, I think she's going to leave me. Then she turns back, grabs my arm, hauls me up. "Move," she screams. We burst through a window, fall 10 feet into the river. The water's cold, shocking. I go under, come up gasping. Chloe's already swimming toward the boat. I try to follow, but my knee won't kick. I'm sinking. A hand grabs my collar, pulls me up. Chloe, she's treading water, holding me, dragging me toward the boat. We reach it, climb in. She starts the engine. The rotten appears at the window, stares down at us, but it doesn't jump, just stands there, watching. We motor away. A mile downriver, we pull into an alcove. Check the duffel bag. 20 formula tins, each one enough calories for 3 days. We made it. Chloe's soaked, shivering, her thumbs bleeding again. The stitches tore when she pulled me from the water. I'm shaking, can't stop. "You came back," I say. "What?" "When I fell." "You came back." She looks at me like I'm stupid. "Of course I came back." "Why?" "Because you're my partner." The word lands strange. Partner, not ally. Not convenience. Partner. I want to say something. Thank her. Tell her it matters. But before I can, she pulls out the voice chip recorder, the one she's been carrying since the beginning. "I need to record something," she says. "What?" She doesn't answer. Just presses record. Speaks into it. "Note to self, the nursery's a trap, don't go back. Also, Alan can't swim. Remember that." She stops the recording, tucks the chip away. I'm staring at her. "What?" she says. "You recorded that for me." "I recorded it for whoever finds the chip if we die. But you mentioned me by name." She doesn't respond, just starts the engine again. But I see it, the faint color in her cheeks, the way she won't meet my eyes. She cares. She won't say it, but she cares. And that's enough. We motor north into the fading light, and behind us, somewhere in the hospital, the crying starts again. Chapter 9. Trade in Twilight. The sign says Nix's Marina in spray paint across crumbling brick. We pull in just as the sun's setting, the sky turning that particular shade of purple. That means you've got maybe 30 minutes before full dark. The marina's inside a parking garage. Clever. 4 stories of concrete shelter, open on the sides but protected from above. Perfect for dusk-only trading. Chloe kills the engine. We drift to a makeshift dock, planks laid across oil drums. There are people here. Maybe 20. Moving between boats, carrying supplies, whispering deals in the dying light. Everyone's got that same look. Thin, watchful, hands never far from weapons. "Stay close," Chloe says. We tie up the boat. Climb out onto the dock. My knee barely holds, but I force it straight. Try not to limp. Weakness here is blood in the water. A figure emerges from the shadows. Non-binary, maybe late 20s, face covered in soot, except for a perfect triangle of grease across one cheek. They're wearing coveralls held together with duct tape and hope. "Nice boat," they say. Their voice is light, musical. "Shame about the leak." "We're looking to trade," Chloe says. "Everyone's looking to trade. Question is, what you got?" Chloe pulls out 3 formula tins, sets them on a barrel like she's playing poker. The figure's eyes light up. They lean closer, and I see their names stitched on the coveralls. Nix. "Formula's worth a lot," Nix says. "But it's not enough for a new boat." "What about a patch kit?" Chloe counters. "Patch kit I can do, or," Nix grins, revealing teeth filed to points. "Decorative, I hope, or I could fix your current boat, make it run like new. All for the low price of whatever you've got in that pack that goes jingle jingle." Chloe's jaw tightens. "No." "No? You haven't even heard my full offer." I said no. Nix shrugs. "Suit yourself, but that motor's gonna die before you hit the dam. Fuel line's corroded. I can see it from here. You need professional help." They lean against a post, cross their arms. "Wait." Chloe's calculating. I can see it in her eyes, weighing options, running scenarios. What do you need? She says finally. Batteries. Got any? My hand goes to my pocket, the 4 batteries Chloe took from me, still there. She's been carrying them this whole time. No, Chloe says. No batteries, no deal. I said no. Nix's grin widens. Then I guess you're walking to the battery, or swimming. How's your breaststroke? Chloe turns to me. Her expression says, don't. But I'm already pulling the batteries from my pocket. I've got 4, I say. Chloe's face goes white, then red. Alan, 4 batteries for a full repair, I say to Nix. Fuel line, hull leak, everything. Nix whistles. 4 AAs, Duracell copper tops, you've got yourself a deal, friend. They reach for the batteries. Chloe grabs my wrist. Hard. Don't. She says we need the boat fixed. Not like this. Chloe. I said no, but I'm already handing them over. Nix snatches them like they're made of gold. Probably worth more, actually. Pleasure doing business, Nix says. Give me 2 hours. I'll have your boat running so smooth you'll think it's factory new. They disappear into the garage. Chloe's still holding my wrist. Her grip's tight enough to bruise. You had no right, she says. You had no right. She releases me. Storms off toward the edge of the dock. I follow. She's standing at the water's edge, staring at the river. The sun's almost gone now, 5 minutes to full dark. Chloe. Don't. I'm sorry. You're sorry. Yes. She turns. Her face is a mask, but her hands are shaking. Those batteries were leverage, she says. Insurance. The one thing we had that we could trade if things went really bad, and you just gave them away for a boat repair we could have done ourselves. Could we? That's not the point. Then what is? You lied. The word echoes across the water. I never said, you didn't have to say. I told you I was holding those batteries, that they were our backup plan, and you let me believe they were safe. She's right, I did. I'm sorry, I say again. Stop saying that. What do you want me to say? I want you to mean it. Silence. The sun drops below the horizon. Darkness rushes in like a flood. Around us, lights flicker on, red-filtered lamps, candles in jars, just enough to see by, not enough to attract attention. Chloe walks away from me, heads toward a ladder on the far side of the garage. Where are you going, I say. Away from you. Chloe, leave me alone, Alan. She climbs the ladder, disappears onto the 2nd level. I'm alone on the dock. Around me, the traders keep trading, whispering deals, exchanging goods. No one cares about our fight. Everyone's got their own problems. I sit on a barrel, pull out a tomato from the duffel, eat it without tasting. Overhead, I hear footsteps. Chloe, pacing. I should go after her. Should apologize properly. Should... What? Tell her I was trying to help? Tell her I thought the boat mattered more than batteries? Tell her I'm tired of walking on eggshells, of second-guessing every decision, of feeling like one wrong move will get me abandoned? I don't go after her, I just sit there, eat my tomato, watch the darkness settle. Nix appears 2 hours later, right on schedule. Boat's done, they say. Purrs like a kitten. Well, like a kitten with emphysema, but it'll get you where you're going. Thanks. Your friend's still mad? Yeah. Want some advice? Not really. They give it anyway. Apologize. Not the words, the action. Do something that proves you get it. Get what? That trust isn't about stuff, it's about consistency. They tap the grease triangle on their cheek. Symmetry scares predators. Consistency scares fear. Remember that. They walk away. I don't understand what they mean, but I pocket the advice anyway. An hour later, Chloe comes down. She doesn't look at me. Just checks the boat, runs her hand along the hull where the leak was. The repair's clean. Professional. It's good work, she says. Yeah. She climbs into the boat, sits at the motor, still doesn't look at me. Are you coming? She says. Am I invited? She finally meets my eyes. We're partners, she says. Partners don't need invitations. I climb into the boat. We sit in silence while Nix unties us, pushes us off. The motor starts on the first pull. Smooth. Quiet. Nix was right. We head north into the darkness. Neither of us talks for the first hour. Finally, Chloe speaks. I'm not mad about the batteries. You're not? I'm mad that you didn't tell me. I know. Do you? I think so. She's quiet for a while. Then, the battery's not safe, Alan. What? The signal I sent. The one that's broadcasting now. I don't think it's rescue. I think it's bait. How do you know? I don't. But my gut says we're walking into a trap. And the only reason I'm still going is because... She trails off. Because what? She doesn't answer. Just steers us north. And I realize she's going because I am. We're in this together now, for better or worse. The boat cuts through the dark water, motor humming, carrying us toward whatever's waiting at the battery. And behind us, somewhere in the garage, I hear Nick's laughing. Chapter 10, Point of No Return River. The lanterns appear at midnight, floating on the water, dozens of them, strung together on a rope that stretches across the river like a net, each one glowing bright white. Impossible to miss, impossible to avoid. Chloe kills the motor. We drift in silence, current carrying us closer to the lights. Choir, she whispers. I can see them now. Figures on the north bank, maybe 10, all wearing headlamps that paint the trees in stark relief. They're blocking the river, I say. Yeah. Can we go around? Not without going ashore. And if we go ashore, the rotten. The banks are thick with them. I can see the shapes in the darkness, standing motionless among the trees, dormant. But the second those lanterns hit the shore, we need to take out the lights, Chloe says. With what? We don't have a gun. She looks at me, then at my pocket. What? I say. You gave Nix 4 batteries. Yeah. Did they take all of them? I check. My fingers find something hard, cylindrical. 1 battery. Must have fallen through a hole in my pocket, ended up in the lining. I pull it out. Chloe's eyes light up. We can overload the lanterns, she says. How? Short the circuits. If I can get close enough, wire this battery wrong, positive to positive, it'll create a feedback loop. The whole string will blow. That's going to make noise. Better than hitting them while they're lit. She's right, but there's a problem. How do you get close enough? I say. She doesn't answer. Just strips off her jacket, her boots, down to a t-shirt and jeans. Chloe, I'm swimming. You'll freeze. Only if I'm slow. She slides into the water, doesn't even gasp at the cold. Just starts swimming, silent strokes, heading toward the lanterns. I watch her go. Count her breaths. 1, 2, 3. She's halfway there when I see it. Movement on the south bank, behind us. More lights. More choir. We're surrounded. I want to call out to Chloe, warn her, but any sound will give her away. So I watch, helpless. She reaches the lanterns, hangs onto the rope, pulls out the battery, starts working on the first lantern's housing. The choir on the north bank are talking. I can't make out words, but I hear laughter. They don't see her. Chloe opens the lantern, pulls out the battery inside. Wires our battery in parallel, positive to positive like she said. Nothing happens. She tries another lantern. Same thing. The third one sparks, a bright flash, white hot, visible for miles. Then the whole string explodes. Fire blooms across the water. Glass shatters. The choir members scream, and on both banks the rotten wake up. The groaning starts. Low at first, then building. Dozens of voices. Hundreds. Chloe's swimming back, fast now, not caring about noise. I start the motor, gun it toward her. The choir's firing. Bullets whine past. One hits the hull, another the motor. I don't stop. I reach Chloe. She grabs the side of the boat. I haul her in. She's shaking, teeth chattering, but alive. Go, she shouts. I open the throttle. Behind us, the banks erupt. Rotten, pouring out of the trees, drawn by the explosion, by the light, by the screaming. The choir's trying to fight them off, but there are too many. We race upriver, the motor's screaming. Something's wrong, smoke billowing from the casing. The bullet must have hit something vital. How far can we get? Chloe shouts over the noise. I don't know. The motor's overheating. I can feel it through the throttle handle, hot enough to burn. 1 mile. 2. The motor seizes, we're drifting again, but this time the current's with us, pushing us north, away from the massacre. Chloe's coughing. Violent, wet sounds. She doubles over. Chloe, she coughs again. Something dark splatters onto the deck. Blood. What happened? She holds up her hand. There's glass embedded in her palm. Lantern shrapnel. I'm fine, she says between coughs. You're coughing blood. I swallowed some river water mixed with glass dust. I'm fine. But she's not fine. I can see it. The way she's holding her ribs, the shallow breathing. I pull her to the center of the boat, make her lie down. I can fix this, I say. You can't. Let me try. I dig through the duffel, find the box cutter from before, a bottle of vodka we scavenged weeks ago. This is going to hurt, I say. Everything hurts. I pour vodka over the blade, over her hand. She doesn't flinch. I start digging out the glass, piece by piece. Her hand trembles, but she doesn't pull away. You came back for me, I say. I told you, we're partners. Yeah, but no buts. You came back for me in the nursery. I came back for you at the lanterns. That's how this works. I pull out the last piece of glass, wrap her hand in strips torn from my shirt. Thank you, I say. For what? Not leaving. She looks at me, really looks, and for the first time since we met, I see something other than calculation in her eyes. I see fear. I almost did, she says quietly. What? When you fell at the hospital. I almost kept running. For 3 steps I thought, he's dead weight. Leave him. But you didn't. No, because she stops, looks away. Because I realized something. What? Batteries were never the sin, lying was. The words land like a punch. I'm sorry, I say, for lying, for the batteries, for all of it. I know. I won't do it again. I know. She sits up, wincing, her hands wrapped tight but blood's already seeping through. We're committed now, she says, to the battery, to this run, to each other. No more half measures, no more lies. Agreed. If we do this, we do it all the way. All the way. She extends her good hand, I take it. We shake, and as the boat drifts north on the dark water, as the choir's screams fade behind us and the battery waits somewhere ahead, I feel something shift. We're not just surviving anymore. We're choosing this. Choosing each other. For better or worse. Until the end. The boat drifts on, and somewhere in the darkness, I hear Chloe whisper, no turning back now. No, I agree. No turning back. Only forward. Into whatever comes next. Chapter 11, Hourglass Moon. The engine died 3 hours before moonrise. 1 cough, 1 metallic wheeze, then nothing. Chloe's already got the panel off, fingers probing wires in the dark. I can hear her breathing, controlled, methodical. She's counting something under her breath. Dead? I ask. Battery's gone. She doesn't look up. We paddle. The oars are wedged under the bench seats. I pull mine free, and the wood scrapes against metal. Too loud. The river carries sound like a megaphone. Somewhere downstream, something shifts in the water. Could be debris. Could be a floater. We don't have time to find out. Chloe's already rowing, smooth, quiet strokes that barely disturb the surface. I match her rhythm, or try to. My shoulders burn after the first 10 minutes. The shrapnel in my chest hasn't stopped aching since the explosion, and every pull sends a sharp twist through my ribs. 14 hours, Chloe says. Maybe less if the current helps. I don't answer. Saving breath. The moon's not up yet. We're rowing in absolute darkness, navigating by the feel of the current against the hull. Chloe's better at this. She keeps us centered, adjusts when I drift. I can tell by the way the boat responds. She's not correcting me out loud, just compensating. My arms start cramping around hour 2. I switch grips, flex my fingers, keep going. The paddle feels heavier with each stroke. I'm slowing down. Can't help it. My forearms are knotting up. Alan, I'm fine. You're not. She stops rowing. I hear the oar settle across her lap. We're drifting. I said I'm fine. And I'm saying you're about to drop that paddle. I tighten my grip to prove her wrong. My right hand spasms. The oar slips, clatters against the gunwale. I catch it before it goes over the side, but barely. Silence. Just the current and my own breathing, too fast. I can keep going, I say. I know. Her voice is quieter now, but you don't have to. That stops me. She's never said that before, never acknowledged that I might need help without making it sound like a tactical failure. I can't just, I start. Yes, you can. She shifts position. I hear fabric sliding. Switch sides with me. You take the stern. That's the easier side. I know. Something in my chest unclenches, not the shrapnel pain, something else. I move carefully, feeling my way along the bench until we're trading places. Her hand brushes my shoulder as she passes. Deliberate, steadying. The stern oar is lighter, the angle's better. I settle into the rhythm again and my arms don't scream quite as loud. Thank you, I say. The words feel strange, unfamiliar. She doesn't answer right away. Then, you're welcome. We row in silence. The moon finally rises, just a sliver, but enough to turn the water from black to gray. I can see the outline of the banks now. Trees like broken fingers against the sky. We're making progress. Not fast, but steady. My arms are still burning, but it's manageable now. I focus on the rhythm. Pull, release. Pull, release. Chloe matches me stroke for stroke. We're synchronized. It feels like something we've done 1,000 times before. There, Chloe says. I follow her gaze. The bank curves ahead, creating a natural eddy, safe spot to rest. We angle toward it, let the current do the work for the last few meters. The hull scrapes against gravel. Chloe hops out, pulls us higher onto the shore. I try to stand, my legs don't cooperate. I grip the gunwale, haul myself up, everything's stiff. I make it 3 steps before my knees buckle. Chloe catches me, her arm around my waist, holding me upright. I can feel her pulse through her jacket, fast but steady. I've got you, she says. I believe her. We sink down together on the gravel. I'm shaking, adrenaline wearing off, muscles giving up. Chloe's still holding me. I don't pull away. 14 hours, I say. We've got 12 left. 11, she corrects. We lost time with the drift. Can we make it? She's quiet for a moment, calculating. If we rest now, yes. If you try to row again without resting, no. I hate that she's right. Hate that I need this. But my arms are useless rubber and my chest feels like someone's twisting a knife between my ribs. How long? I ask. 30 minutes. Maybe 40. I lean back against her, just for a second, just to catch my breath. Her hand finds mine in the dark. Her fingers are cold, calloused. She's counting again. I can feel it in the way her thumb taps against my palm. Heartbeats. Hers or mine, I'm not sure. Alan, yeah. Next time, ask for help before you pass out. I almost laugh. Almost. Deal. The moon climbs higher. The water turns silver. I can see our breath now. White clouds that hang in the air before dissolving. Winter's coming. The nights are getting longer. 14 hours of darkness used to feel safe. Now it just feels cold. Chloe shifts behind me. She's trying to get comfortable on the rocks without letting go. I should tell her she doesn't have to hold me. I don't. You ever row before? I ask. Before all this. Crew team, high school. Figures. You? Canoe. Once, summer camp. I tipped it in the first 5 minutes. She makes that sound, not quite a laugh, but close. And yet here you are. Here I am. The river keeps moving. Downstream, something splashes, too big to be a fish. We both tense, but nothing comes. Just the current and the dark and the sound of our breathing. Chloe's fingers tighten on mine. We should go soon. I know, but we don't move yet. 30 minutes, 40, whatever it takes. When we finally push off again, my arms still hurt, but I can grip the oar. Chloe takes the bow this time, the harder position. I don't argue, she's earned it. We row until the moon starts to fade. The sky lightens just enough to see the shape of the horizon. We're close. Another hour, maybe less. There, Chloe says. Shadow line. I see it. The bank curves sharply, creating a deep overhang where the sun won't reach. We angle toward it, fighting the current. My arms are screaming again, but we're almost there. The boat slides into shadow just as the first ray of sun breaks over the trees. We're safe. For now. I collapse against the stern. Chloe's bent over the bow, chest heaving. We made it. 11 hours and 53 minutes of rowing in the dark, and we made it. She looks back at me. Her face is pale, streaked with sweat, but she's smiling. Actually smiling. Next time, she says, we bring a motor. Next time, I agree. The moon sets behind us, the sun climbs higher, and for the first time since the dam, I think maybe we're going to survive this after all. Chapter 12. The Laughing Gas Station. The dentist office still has power. Not much. Just the red glow of an exit sign reflected in broken mirrors, but enough to make my skin crawl. Chloe's already inside, moving through the wreckage like a ghost. I follow, stepping over collapsed ceiling tiles and scattered teeth. "Fuel cans are in the back," she whispers. "Storage room." "How do you know?" "Every clinic's the same. Generator backup. They'd keep the canisters away from the patients." Made sense. Didn't make me feel better about being here. The hallway's narrow. Glass crunches under our boots despite our best efforts. Each step sounds like a gunshot in the silence. Chloe's ahead of me, one hand trailing along the wall for guidance. The exit sign casts just enough light to see her silhouette. Something skitters in the ceiling. Rats, probably. Or something that used to be rats. The storage room door's ajar. Chloe nudges it open with her shoulder, gun drawn. Nothing moves inside, just shelves of supplies and 2 red fuel cans exactly where she said they'd be. "Grab one," she says. Slow. I reach for the nearest can. My fingers brush the handle. The metal's cold. I lift. The shelf above rattles. Just a tremor, but enough. A box of something shifts, tips, starts to fall. Chloe's hand shoots out, catches it midair. Nitrous oxide canisters. The box is open, half empty. She sets it down carefully, but one canister rolls free, hits the floor with a soft metallic ring. We both freeze. Outside in the main office, something responds. A low groan. Bass note that vibrates through the floorboards. Then silence. "Basher," Chloe mouths. I nod. "We've woken something big." She points to the cans, then to herself. Then to me in the door. I get it. She grabs the fuel. I watch for movement. Simple, except my hands are shaking. Chloe notices. She leans close, breath warm against my ear. "It's dormant. Just don't make light." Right. No light. Just a 7-foot infected that could tear through drywall if it woke up properly. No pressure. She lifts the first fuel can. Smooth, controlled, not a sound. I watch the doorway, listening for that groan again. Nothing yet, just my pulse hammering in my ears. The second can's heavier. Chloe's moving slower, compensating for the weight. I can see the muscles in her forearms straining. Halfway to the door, the nitrous canister rolls again. Neither of us touched it. Just vibration from our movement, but it's heading straight for a metal shelf leg. I move without thinking. Drop to one knee, hand outstretched. Catch it just before impact. Chloe stares at me, then at the canister in my hand, then back at me. And she giggles. Actually giggles. Hand over her mouth, shoulders shaking. She's trying to stop, but can't. The sound's muffled, but it's there. This helpless, ridiculous laughter that doesn't belong in a dead dentist's office with a basher 20 feet away. "Sorry," she whispers. "Sorry, your face. My face. You looked so serious, like you were defusing a bomb. It could have woken." "I know." She's still smiling. "I know, I'm sorry, it's just..." Another giggle escapes. "Your eyebrows." "What about my eyebrows? They're so symmetrical, aggressively symmetrical. When you concentrate, She demonstrates, making this intense, furrowed expression that looks nothing like me. Probably. I want to be annoyed. Should be annoyed. But the corner of my mouth's twitching. Aggressively symmetrical. Very aggressive. She's sobering up now, but her eyes are still bright. "We should go." "Yeah." She passes me the nitrous canister. "Hold on to that. Might need it later." "For what?" "Bassists have good lungs. Choir scouts are probably all former singers. If we tape headlights backwards on the boat, blind them with their own equipment, we'll need noise cover to mask the setup. Nitrous makes you laugh. Choir thinks we're having a breakdown, lets their guard down." I blink. "You came up with that plan while giggling?" "I came up with that plan 3 days ago. The giggling was a bonus." We make it to the door. The main office is still dark. I can see the outline of something large slumped over the receptionist desk. Too still to be alive, too intact to be long dead. Recent statue, maybe a week. Chloe edges past it, fuel cans balanced perfectly. I follow, nitrous canister clutched to my chest like a grenade. Which, technically, it could be if we're not careful. We're almost to the exit when I see it, a headlamp mounted on the wall charger. The kind choir scouts wear. Someone was here recently. Left in a hurry. Chloe sees it too. She sets down the fuel cans, pulls the headlamp free, doesn't turn it on, just tucks it into her pack. Evidence? I whisper. Insurance, she corrects. If we need light, we control when and where. Smart. Terrifying, but smart. We slip out through the broken front window. The sun's lower now. Maybe 3 hours till dusk. Not enough time to travel, too much time to waste. We'll have to camp nearby. Wait for dark. Chloe's already scouting positions. She points to an old shipping container 50 yards away. Doors intact, high ground, good sight lines. I nod agreement. The container's unlocked. Inside it smells like rust and old cardboard, empty except for some collapsed boxes and a tarp. Perfect. We set up in silence. Fuel cans in the corner. Tarp for ground cover. Chloe hands me a protein bar from her pack. It tastes like sawdust, but my stomach doesn't care. Alan. I look up. She's holding the nitrous canister, studying the label. You know these things are flammable, right? I figured. And you caught it anyway. You were carrying fuel cans. Couldn't risk the noise. She's quiet for a moment. Then, thank you. You're welcome. She sets the canister down carefully, sits cross-legged on the tarp, back against the container wall. I join her, leaving space between us. Not much, just enough to be respectful. Your eyebrows really are symmetrical, she says. Shut up. I'm serious. It's impressive. Mine are... She touches her left eyebrow, the one with the scar cutting through it, uneven. I hadn't noticed. Liar. Okay, I noticed. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look good. Looks like you survived something. She considers that. Yeah, I guess it does. Outside, the wind picks up. The container creaks but holds. We've got 3 hours until we can move again. 3 hours of sitting in the dark with nothing but protein bars and the memory of her giggling. Could be worse. Alan. Yeah? Next time I start laughing in a death trap, you have permission to hit me. Deal. Same goes for me. You don't laugh. Maybe I should start. She looks at me. Really looks, like she's seeing something new. Maybe you should. The sun drops lower. Shadows stretch across the floor, and somewhere in the distance, I hear the faint sound of bells. Choir scouts. Close. Closer than I'd like. Chloe hears them too. She's already moving, taping the headlamp backwards just like she planned. The setup's ingenious. Beam faces out through the container door crack, pointed at head height. Anyone comes looking, they'll blind themselves. How long? I ask. Until they pass? Hour, maybe. And if they don't pass? She pulls out the nitrous canister, grins. Then we find out if my plan works. The bells get louder. 3 scouts based on the rhythm. They're searching the area. Methodical. Professional. Chloe hands me the canister. If I say now, you crack this and breathe deep, then laugh like your life depends on it. Because it will. Exactly. The scouts are at the dentist office now. I can hear their voices, young, excited. Choir teens with their light bulb halos and candy communion. Saffron's training them well. One of them spots the container. Points. They're coming. Chloe's hand is on my arm. Steady pressure. Wait. Wait. The scouts are 10 feet away. 5. I can see their shadows through the door crack. Now, Chloe whispers. I crack the canister. The gas hisses out. I breathe it in. The world goes fuzzy and bright, and suddenly everything's hilarious. The scouts, the container, my own fear, all of it. I laugh. Can't help it. This big, ridiculous belly laugh that echoes inside the metal walls. Chloe's laughing too. Forced at first, then genuine. We sound insane. We sound broken. The scouts pause. One of them whispers something. The others respond, and then they move on. Actually move on. Because who investigates the crazy people laughing in a shipping container? Not choir scouts with quotas to fill and safer targets to find. The bells fade, the laughter subsides. We're alone again. Chloe's leaning against me, shoulders still shaking. Not from nitrous this time, from relief. It worked, I say. It worked, she agrees. And for just a moment, in a rusted container with distant bells fading and the taste of nitrous still sharp on my tongue, I let myself believe we might actually make it to the battery after all. Chapter 13. Mother Lux. The audience chamber used to be a cathedral. I can tell by the vaulted ceiling and the shadows where stained glass used to hang. Now it's just darkness and the smell of burning wax. Hundreds of candles, all extinguished. Only the chandelier crown on Mother Lux's head provides light. LEDs woven through silver wire, dimmed to almost nothing. Just bright enough to see her face. We're surrounded. I count 12 choir members in the shadows. Could be more. They're good at staying still. Chloe's beside me. They took her gun, her pack. My hands are zip-tied behind my back. The plastic cuts into my wrists every time I shift weight. I stopped shifting 5 minutes ago. Mother Lux sits on something that might have been a bishop's throne. She's smaller than I expected. Older. The LEDs in her crown make her skin look translucent like old paper stretched over bone. When she speaks, it's barely above a whisper. Alan Thomas. I don't answer. Chloe taught me that silence is better than confirmation when you're captured. You don't have to speak. I already know everything. Lux adjusts her crown. The LEDs flicker. 6 years ago, you worked sanitation in the Philadelphia grid station. You had a son, Elias, 6 years old. You took him to work the day the power failed. My chest tightens. I keep my face blank. Your friend Marcus turned, attacked the supervisor. You had a gun. Security issue. You hesitated. She leans forward. Elias ran. You found him 3 days later in the subway tunnels. His eyes were already clouding over. Stop, I hear myself say. You had 1 bullet left. You couldn't do it, so you ran. Left him in the dark. I said stop. Chloe's shoulder presses against mine. Grounding. I focus on that instead of the memory of Elias reaching for me with those clouded eyes. Lux sits back. I'm not telling you this to be cruel. I'm telling you because I understand. We all failed someone. The difference is some of us learn to forgive ourselves. Forgiveness, Chloe says. Her voice is flat, clinical. Is that what you call sewing bulbs into children's skin? Lux's gaze shifts. Chloe Monroe, former Air Force communications specialist. You gave the order to cut power to the eastern seaboard. Estimated civilian casualties, 43,000 in the first hour. Trapped in elevators, subway cars, hospital life support. Your parents were in one of those elevators. Chloe's shoulder tenses against mine. I feel it through the fabric. I didn't give the order, Chloe says. I relayed it. You threw the switch. I followed protocol. And 43,000 people went still in the dark because you followed protocol. Lux touches her crown again. A nervous gesture, like she's checking if it's still there. How do you forgive yourself for that, Chloe? I don't, Chloe says simply. Silence. The candle smell is stronger now. Artificial. Chemical. Lux stands. She's shorter than both of us, but somehow she fills the space. Light is salvation, not because it prevents infection. That's a children's story. Light is salvation because it forces us to see what we are. No hiding in the dark, no pretending we didn't make choices. She walks toward Chloe. You carry that scar on your back. The detonator burned from the grid station. Show it to him. No, Chloe says. Show him what you are. No. Lux nods to someone in the shadows. Hands grab Chloe, force her forward. I struggle against the zip ties, but they only cut deeper. Someone yanks up Chloe's jacket, her shirt. The skin underneath is twisted, scarred, a perfect circle between her shoulder blades, the size of a detonator switch. That's from the emergency cutoff, Lux says. The one she pulled manually when the system failed. She doesn't just carry guilt, Alan. She carries proof. They let Chloe go. She doesn't turn around. I can see her counting on her gloved fingers. Heartbeats. Trying to stay calm. Why are you showing me this? I ask. Because I'm offering you a choice. Lux returns to her throne. Join us. Become a light bearer. Bring others out of darkness. In exchange, I only ask one thing. She points at Chloe. Her. What? She caused this. The blackout. The outbreak. All of it stems from her decision to cut power before evacuation mission was complete. The rotten spread because we couldn't coordinate, couldn't see, couldn't call for help. Lux's voice is still soft, still gentle. One life for thousands saved. It's an easy equation. I look at Chloe. She's staring straight ahead. Subject exhibits resignation. That's what she'd say if she was talking about someone else. No, I say. Think carefully. We have food, medicine, territory. The battery you're seeking? It's a trap. We control it. Have for months. Every runner who shows up looking for refuge becomes either workforce or fertilizer. But you, she touches her crown again, you could be different. You could lead. Lead what? A cult that murders kids? We don't murder. We illuminate. Her eyes are bright, feverish. The children who take the bulbs do so willingly. They understand sacrifice. They become beacons for others lost in the dark. They're kids. They're soldiers. Just like you were. Just like she was. Lux stands again. I'll give you until dawn to decide. Your partner stays here. You'll be escorted to a cell to think. Choose light and you live. Choose her, she smiles. Well, you know how this ends. The choir members move in. Hands grip my arms, haul me upright. I try to catch Chloe's eyes, but she's still staring ahead, still counting. Chloe. Don't, she says quietly. I'm not. I know. They drag me away. The last thing I see is Mother Lux sitting on her throne, like that chandelier crown casting shadows across her face like prison bars. And beside her, a photograph mounted on a light switch plate. A family. Before. Happy. As I watch, she reaches up and flips the switch to off. Chapter 14. Ash Angels. The tent smells like infected flesh and antiseptic. Chloe's working under a blackout tarp, stitching closed the incision where she dug out a LED bulb from a 12-year-old's shoulder. The girl's unconscious. Chloe made sure of that with the last of our morphine. Good thing, too. The infection had spread deep. I'm supposed to be keeping watch. Instead, I'm watching Chloe's hands move in the dim red glow of a chem stick. Precise. No hesitation. She threads the needle like she's done this 1,000 times. You should have let me help, I say. You would have made noise. You're using our last antibiotics. I know. She doesn't look up. Hand me the gauze. I pass it over. My hands are shaking. Been shaking since the cell. Since Mother Lux showed me that picture of her family and told me I could have the same thing. Safety, purpose, community. If I just made one small compromise. One small compromise named Chloe Monroe. They're gonna know, I say. Choir scouts check on the kids every 4 hours. They'll see she's healing. Then we leave in 3 hours and 50 minutes. With what? They took everything. Our packs, the fuel, the boat's still guarded. Chloe ties off the stitch. Examines her work. Boat's guarded by 2 scouts, both teenagers. One has a limp. Saw him favoring his right leg when they brought in supplies. The other one keeps checking his headlamp battery. It's dying. He's nervous about it. How do you? I watch. You brood. Different strategies. She covers the girl with a thermal blanket. We move at shift change. They get sloppy then. 3 minutes of overlap where nobody's paying attention. The girl stirs, murmurs something in her sleep. Chloe touches her forehead, checking temperature, not comfort, then nods to herself. Satisfied. She'll live, Chloe says. Why do you care? I don't. But her hand lingers on the girl's forehead for another second before she pulls away. Subject exhibits fever reduction. Prognosis improved. Subject. She does that when it's too much. Turns people into clinical observations. Safer that way. Outside the tent, footsteps approach. Chloe's already moving, hiding the bloody gauze under a supply crate. I stand between her and the entrance, blocking the view. If they come in, they'll see me first. Maybe that'll buy her time to hide the evidence. The tent flap opens. Candlelight floods in. Actual candles, not LEDs. Mother Lux's face appears in the gap. How is she? Lux asks. Stable, Chloe says. The infection's spreading. She needs IV antibiotics or she'll be gone by morning. Lux steps inside. 2 scouts follow, carrying more candles. The tent brightens until I can see every detail. The girl's pale face, the sweat on Chloe's forehead, the bloodstains Chloe didn't quite hide. You used your own supplies, Lux observes. Yes. Why? Chloe doesn't answer immediately. I can see her calculating, deciding how much truth to give. Because she's 12. She's a soldier. She's 12, Chloe repeats. Harder this time. and the infection was preventable if you'd sterilize the LEDs before implanting them. Lux's expression doesn't change. We sterilize with light, UV exposure. It's sacred ritual. It's inadequate. You need heat or chemical sterilization. Otherwise, the bulbs carry bacteria straight into the bloodstream. I'll consider it. Lux kneels beside the girl, touches the bandage. You did good work here. Anyone with field training could have done it, but you chose to, despite knowing it wastes resources you need for your own journey. Lux stands. That's interesting. I don't like her tone. Too curious. Too pleased. Keep her alive and I'll give you back 1 pack, Lux says. Your choice, which one? Both packs and the fuel cans, Chloe counters. 1 pack, 1 fuel can, and I won't execute Alan at dawn. Silence. The candles flicker. Somewhere outside, a bell rings. Shift change. Deal, Chloe says. Lux smiles. I knew you were a practical woman. She turns to leave, then pauses. The girl's name is Margot, in case you were wondering. She volunteered for the bulbs, wanted to serve the light, help others find their way. She looks back at Chloe. Not so different from cutting power to save the grid. Sometimes we sacrifice for the greater good. After she's gone, I wait for Chloe to say something, anything, but she just goes back to checking Margot's vitals, counting pulse, recording temperature on a scrap of paper. You okay? I ask. Subject exhibits normal post-op anxiety, she says. Prognosis good. Chloe. She finally looks at me. Her eyes are dry, distant. I'm fine. She's not fine. Neither am I. But we've got 3 hours and 42 minutes until shift change, and we need to be ready. I help her clean up. We work in silence, disposing of bloody gauze, organizing the remaining supplies. When we're done, Margot's breathing easier, color returning to her cheeks. Think Lux will keep her word? I ask. No. Chloe checks the tent entrance. But she'll pretend to until it's inconvenient. That gives us time. For what? She pulls out the headlamp we took from the dentist office, the one she's been saving, to make our own light. Chapter 15, Midpoint. The beacon. The hydro dam rises out of the darkness like a monument to the world that was. Concrete and steel still intact after 6 years of neglect. The river rushes through the spillways, constant roar that masks our approach. Perfect. We left Margot's stable. The choir scouts never saw us leave. Chloe's plan worked. Shift change chaos, dying headlamp battery, nervous teenagers who didn't check the tent twice. We took our pack, 1 fuel can, and ran. 3 miles upriver. Then we saw it. The signal. Red, green, red. Pause. Red, green. The same pattern from the liquor store. Christmas lights strung across the dam's control tower, blinking in sequence. Military code. Chloe's code. That's impossible, she says. We're crouched behind a collapsed transformer station watching the dam. I sent that signal 6 years ago. One-time broadcast. The battery should have died in 48 hours. Maybe someone maintained it, I suggest. Who? Everyone's dead or infected or choir. Then it's a trap, she nods slowly. Yeah, probably. But she's still staring at those lights. I can see it in her face. The same expression she had when Mother Lux showed her scar. Recognition. Shame. Hope, all mixed together. We should leave, I say. We should check it out. Chloe, if it's a trap, we need to know who said it. If it's real... She stops, doesn't finish the thought. If it's real, then the battery exists. Then there's still a chance for rescue, for getting out of this endless darkness. We move closer. The dam's access road is overgrown, but passable. No guards visible. No movement except the lights blinking their steady pattern. Red, green, red. Pause. Red, green. The control tower door is unlocked. That should have been our first clue. But Chloe's already inside, following the sound of machinery. I follow because leaving her alone seems worse than whatever's waiting. The tower interior is cleaner than it should be. Dust, yes. Decay, yes. But no bodies, no blood. Someone's been maintaining this place. The lights lead us up. 3rd floor, 4th, 5th. Finally, we reach the central console, and there it is, the Christmas light string, still plugged in, still blinking. But the power source isn't a battery. It's a solar array, professional grade, choir equipment. No, Chloe whispers. I see it now. The whole setup, the solar panels feeding into a converter, into a recorder, into the console. The signal isn't live, it's on loop. Playing back Chloe's original broadcast over and over, powered by stolen choir technology. The battery's not here, I say. The battery was never here. Chloe's voice is flat, dead. It's a bait farm. The pieces fall together. Mother Lux's words. We control it. Have for months. Every runner who shows up looking for refuge becomes either workforce or fertilizer. They're using Chloe's own signal to lure survivors into a trap. We have to shut it down, Chloe says. If we do, we lose the map home. There is no home. She's already moving toward the console. This is it. This is what we've been chasing. A recorded lie on a loop. I grab her arm. Wait, think about this. If we shut it down, everyone else who's following this signal, they'll be lost, or they'll be saved from walking into a choir processing center. You don't know that. Maybe some make it through. Maybe some escape. And go where, Alan? Back to the darkness? Back to hiding and scavenging and hoping they don't wake up a basher? She pulls free. This isn't hope. It's bait. It's all we have. Then we have nothing. She reaches for the console. I see her hand hover over the power switch, the same kind of switch she threw 6 years ago, the one that left a scar between her shoulder blades. Chloe, don't. Give me one good reason. I can't, because she's right. The battery was always a myth. We just needed something to chase, something to keep us moving forward instead of giving up. Her finger touches the switch. The door behind us opens. Mother Luck steps through, flanked by scouts. Her chandelier crown is brighter now, almost blinding. I was wondering when you'd figure it out, Luck says. She sounds genuinely pleased. Took you longer than most. The smart ones see it right away. This is your operation, Chloe says. Our operation. The choir's been running the battery for 8 months. Best recruitment tool we have. Survivors follow the signal. We sort them. Useful ones get work. Dangerous ones get culled. And the desperate ones, she looks at me, they'll do anything to believe salvation is real. You're using my signal, Chloe says. I'm using hope. Your signal just happens to be the delivery method. Lux gestures to the scouts. Take them downstairs. Separate cells this time. Dawn's in 4 hours. That's how long you have to decide if you're useful or dangerous. The scouts move in. Chloe's still standing at the console, hand on the switch. She could throw it, kill the signal, end the trap. But then what? We're surrounded, unarmed. Dawn's coming. She steps back, lets them take her. As they drag us away, I see the lights reflected in the window. Red, green, red. Pause. Red, green. Still blinking, still calling out to everyone in the darkness. Come to the battery. Come to salvation. Come to hope. Come to the trap we built from your own desperation. The door closes. The lights keep blinking. And I realize Mother Lux was right about one thing. We've been chasing a lie the entire time. Chapter 16. The Other Side of Dark. The turbine hall is the only room in the dam with no light sources. Even Mother Lux won't put LEDs near the massive generators. Too much electromagnetic interference. So we're in absolute darkness, fighting over whether to blow the whole thing sky high. You want to destroy it, I say. Fine, but then what? We're 80 miles from anything. No supplies, no boat, no plan. The plan is to stop them from killing more people. The plan is to survive. Why? Chloe's voice comes from somewhere to my right. I can't see her, can only hear the way her breathing's changed. Faster, angrier. So we can keep running, keep hiding. For what, Alan? So we can die old instead of young? So we can live. This isn't living. This is just slower dying. I move toward her voice. My shoulder hits a support beam. Pain flares through my chest where the shrapnel's still lodged. I keep going. You saved those kids, Margot. The others. That was living. That was delaying the inevitable. It was good. It was stupid. Her voice cracks, just slightly. I wasted our antibiotics on a choir soldier who would have just gone back to luring more people into this trap. I endangered us for nothing. For her life. Her life doesn't matter. Mine doesn't matter. Yours. She stops. I hear fabric rustling. She's moving away. None of this matters. I find her by following the sound. My hand brushes her shoulder. She flinches but doesn't pull away. Hope is lethal, I say quietly. The words Mother Lux was waiting for me to say. The truth I've been avoiding. It makes you want things, makes you believe in battery myths and signal rescues and futures that don't exist. It makes you vulnerable. Exactly. But living without it, I grip her shoulder hard, worse than dying. Is it? Her voice is so small now, not the tactical operator, not the clinical observer, just Chloe, tired and scared and broken. Because I can't do this anymore, can't keep pretending there's an endpoint, can't keep saving people who are already gone. Then don't save people. Save one person. Who? Me. Silence. The turbines hum. Somewhere water rushes through pipes. Alan, save me, I repeat. I'm asking, right now. Save me from giving up. I feel her hand find mine in the dark. Her fingers are shaking. I don't know how, she whispers. Figure it out. You're good at that. She makes a sound. Half laugh, half sob. I'm really not. You are. You saved me at the liquor store, the river, the dentist office, Margot. You keep saving people even when you say it doesn't matter. Because I'm stupid. Because you're stubborn. I pull her closer. And because somewhere under all that clinical detachment, you still think people are worth saving. She doesn't answer, but she doesn't pull away either. We stand there in the dark. No plan, no hope, just two people who are too tired to keep pretending they're okay. If we blow the dam, I say finally, we lose everything. The signal dies. The choir loses their trap, but so does everyone else following it. Everyone's still hoping. You said hope is lethal. I said living without it is worse. She's quiet for a long time. Then, so what do? We blow it at dawn, when the sun's up, give everyone following the signal one last night to see it before it goes dark forever. That's not a plan. That's a gesture. It's all we have. I feel her shift closer. Her forehead rests against my shoulder. I hate this. I know. I hate that you're right. I know. I hate... She stops, takes a breath. I hate that I care whether you make it out of this. My hand finds her face, traces the scar on her eyebrow, the one she thinks makes her uneven. I care too. That's the problem. Yeah, she kisses me. Messy, teeth clack together. Her hands grip my jacket like I might disappear. I kiss back, tasting salt. Don't know if it's her tears or mine. Don't care. We break apart. She's shaking. So am I. We should plan, she says. We should. But we don't move. We stand in the darkness, holding each other, pretending for just a few more minutes that the world isn't ending. Chapter 17, Singing Wires. The catwalk is 3 feet wide and has no railing. 40 feet below, the turbine hall floor is concrete. One wrong step and I'm done. The shrapnel in my chest makes every breath feel like I'm being stabbed from the inside. Chloe's ahead of me, moving like a ghost. She's stripping wire from the LED arrays the choir installed along the dam's emergency lighting system. We need 50 feet, have 43 so far. How much more? I whisper. 7 feet, maybe 8. The wire's going to be our fuse. Run it from the turbine hall to the explosive Chloe's rigging in the generator room. When the sun hits the solar panels at dawn, the surge will travel through the wire into the detonator and blow the whole place. Elegant. Terrifying. Perfectly, Chloe. I watch her work. She's using the box cutter from her pack, the one she's carried since the subway. The blade's dull now. She has to saw at each wire segment, careful not to let the stripped ends touch. One spark and we go up early. Alan? Yeah? If this doesn't work, it'll work. But if it doesn't, then we improvise. Like always. She stops cutting, turns to look at me. I can barely see her face in the darkness. Just the outline, the shape of her. I need to tell you something, she says. Later, when we're clear. Now, in case there's no later. I move closer. The catwalk creaks. Okay. She's quiet for a moment, organizing thoughts. When she finally speaks, her voice is different. Softer, more hesitant. My son's name was Elias. I go still. Was? He's dead, turned in the first week. I never told you because... She swallows, because saying it out loud makes it real. Chloe, he was 6. Same age as yours, same name. She laughs, but there's no humor in it. Funny, right? We both lost an Elias, both in the same blackout. I reach for her hand, find it in the dark. I'm sorry. Don't be. It was my fault. I cut the power before I got him to safety. Thought I'd have time. My thought protocol mattered more than... Her voice cracks. I thought I could save everyone if I just followed the rules. You were following orders. I was protecting myself. Easier to flip a switch than to admit I was scared. She pulls her hand back, keeps cutting wire. That's why I record things. On the chip, so there's proof I existed, that he existed, that we mattered. You do matter. Do I? Because some days I wake up and I can't remember his face. Can't remember if he liked pancakes or waffles. Can't remember his favorite color. The wire comes free. She coils it carefully. And if I can't remember him, what's the point of remembering anything? I don't have an answer. Don't think she wants one. We work in silence for the next 10 minutes. She finishes stripping the wire. I help her run it along the catwalk, down the stairs, through the access tunnel. Every foot we lay feels heavier than the last. When we reach the generator room, Chloe pulls out the voice chip recorder. The tin case is dented, worn smooth from 6 years of carrying. What are you doing? I ask. Recording a message. In case? She stops. Starts over. In case Elias is out there somewhere, in case there's an after to all this. Someone should know what happened here. She presses record, holds the chip close to her mouth, and whispers, Elias. It's Mom. If you're hearing this, I'm sorry. Sorry I wasn't there. Sorry I chose wrong. Sorry I couldn't save you. Pause. But I'm trying to save someone now. Someone who reminds me that maybe I'm not completely broken. Maybe I can still do one good thing before the end. Another pause. I love you. I never said it enough when you were here. I'm saying it now. I love you. She stops recording, tucks the chip back in the tin. Her hands are shaking. I pull her close. She doesn't resist, just leans into me, face pressed against my shoulder. His favorite color was blue, I say quietly. And he hated pancakes. Always wanted waffles with too much syrup. She makes a sound. Might be a laugh. Might be a sob. How do you know? She asks. Because that was my Elias too. And I remember, so you don't have to carry it alone anymore. We stand there in the generator room holding each other while the wire waits to deliver its payload and the sun climbs closer to the horizon. Dawn's in an hour, Chloe says finally. I know. We should get to the spillway, safest place to watch from. Okay, but neither of us moves. Not yet. Just a few more minutes. Just a few more seconds of pretending we're not about to destroy the last false hope either of us had. The wire hums, almost like it's singing. Chapter 18. Lux Eterna. The convoy arrives 30 minutes before dawn. 8 vehicles, all equipped with spotlight arrays. The choir's bringing everyone, not just scouts, but the full procession. Mother Lux is making a statement. We're hidden in the spillway drainage tunnel. Chloe's watching through her rifle scope. I'm counting vehicle occupants. 23 so far. More than I expected. They have kids, Chloe says quietly. What? The third truck. It's full of children, 8, maybe 10, all carrying lanterns. I look through my own scope. She's right. The kids are young, 8, 9, 10 years old. Each one has a headlamp wired into their hair like a crown, like they're practicing to be Mother Lux. Child soldiers, I mutter. Worse, child bait. Chloe lowers her rifle. They're going to use them to light the interior, wake any dormant rotten inside the dam, clear it out before bringing in the workforce. That's smart, ruthless. Exactly what I'd do if I was running this operation. She says it so matter-of-factly, like she's analyzing a chess game instead of children being sent to their deaths. We have to stop them, I say. How? We're unarmed. No charges left except the one in the generator room, and that's on a timer. Then we use what we have. Which is what exactly? I pull out the headlamp we took from the dentist office, the one Chloe's been saving. Light. She stares at me. You want to wake the rotten on purpose. I want to stop the kids from going inside. If the rotten are already active, the choir can't use the dam. They'll have to withdraw. Or they'll shoot the kids in the crossfire. Or we save them by condemning them to a horde, by giving them a chance. Chloe's quiet for a long moment. Then she takes the headlamp, checks the battery. 20% charge, maybe 5 minutes of light. That's enough. You understand what you're asking me to do? Yeah. You understand I'll have to shoot the bulbs, not the rotten, not the lights themselves. And when I do, the kids will be in the dark with awakened bashers and no way to see. I know. And you're okay with that, am I? I think about Elias, about the choice I didn't make 6 years ago, about all the times since then I've chosen survival over sacrifice. No, I say honestly, but it's better than letting them become light-bearing corpses. Chloe nods once. Okay, then we do it fast. 3 bulbs. That's all the noise we can afford before the choir pinpoints our position. The convoy's pulling up to the dam entrance now. Mother Lux steps out of the lead vehicle, her chandelier crown blazing even in the pre-dawn dark. She's giving orders I can't hear, organizing the procession. The children file out of the third truck. They're singing, actual hymn music. Light will guide us home. Light will never fade. My stomach turns. Now, I ask. Wait for them to cross the threshold. Once they're inside, the dam's architecture will amplify the sound, wake everything in a quarter-mile radius. The first child steps through the entrance, then the second, third. They're moving in formation, practiced. Mother Lux has trained them well. Now, Chloe whispers. She turns on the headlamp, aims it at the nearest window. The beam cuts through the darkness like a scream. Inside the dam, something responds, a low groan, then another. Then a dozen more. The bashers are waking up. Chloe's already sighting her rifle. 3 shots. Make them count. The first bulb, a child's headlamp near the front of the line, explodes in a shower of glass. The kid screams, drops the lantern. The second shot takes out a mounted floodlight on the truck bed. The third hits a handheld LED one of the scouts is carrying. Then the rotten pour out of the dam entrance. They're fast. Faster than I remembered. The children scatter, screaming. The choir scouts try to form a defensive line, but there's too many. 20 rotten become 40, become 60. All awakened by our light, all drawn to the brightest sources, which are the children with their LED crowns. Chloe. I know. She's already moving. Climbing out of the tunnel, rifle slung over her shoulder. Cover me. With what? She tosses me the headlamp. Anything that makes noise. Then she's gone, running toward the chaos, toward the children who are being torn apart by bashers in the pre-dawn dark. I watch her dive into the mass. She's pulling kids out one at a time, shoving them toward the vehicles, telling them to run. Some listen. Most don't. They're frozen with fear or faith or both. Mother Lux is screaming orders, but nobody's listening. The formation's broken. The choir's retreating. And Chloe's still in there, grabbing children by their collars and throwing them toward safety. A basher spots her, charges. She sidesteps, uses its momentum to redirect it into another rotten. They collide, both go down. She keeps moving. I shine the headlamp into the horde, draw attention away from the kids toward me. 3 bashers peel off, start lumbering in my direction. Good. Fewer for Chloe to deal with. Bad. Now I'm the target. I turn off the light. Drop back into the tunnel. The bashers lose track of me, but they're still coming, following the last place they saw the beam. Above, I hear gunfire. Mother Lux's scouts have rallied. They're shooting anything that moves. Rotten and children both, probably. Can't tell in the dark. The headlamp battery dies. I'm in total darkness now. The bashers are 20 feet away. 15. 10. Chloe's voice cuts through the chaos. Alan, get down! I drop. Something flies over my head. Then an explosion. Light. Heat. The generator room charge just blew early. The dam shudders. Water rushes through the compromised structure. And the bashers silhouetted against the fireball turn toward the light. Away from me. Toward the burning dam. I scramble up the spillway. The structure's collapsing. The river's breaking through. Mother Lux's convoy is already fleeing, half the vehicles abandoned, children still screaming in the backs of trucks. Chloe's standing on the access road, covered in blood. Not hers. At least I hope not hers. She's holding two kids by their hands, both sobbing. How many? I ask when I reach her. 6 out of 10. Her voice is flat, clinical. 4 went still before I could reach them. You saved 6. I killed 4. You didn't? I turned on the light. I turned on the light. I woke the bashers. I pulled the trigger. She lets go of the children's hands. They run toward the convoy without looking back. This is my design, Alan. The blackout, the outbreak. Now this. All my design. Behind us, the dam groans, then collapses. Water erupts through the breach, cascading down the valley in a wall of white foam and debris. It'll flood everything downstream, drown hundreds of dormant rotten, maybe some choir outposts too. Chloe watches it fall. 43,000 in the elevators, 4 children in the dam. How many more before I stop? I don't have an answer. The sun breaks over the horizon. Real sunlight. Natural. Safe. And in its light, I see what's left of Mother Lux's convoy disappearing into the distance, trailing smoke and screams. We stand there until the water stops rushing. Until the dam is just rubble and spray. Until the only sound is the river reclaiming what was always its own. Then Chloe turns and walks away. I follow, because what else can I do? Chapter 19. The Fall of Day. The flood wave catches us on the valley slope. 1 second we're climbing loose shale, the next we're in the water. Cold hits like a fist. My lungs seize. The shrapnel in my chest feels like it's punching through bone. Chloe's got my jacket, hauling me toward a floating section of concrete barrier. We grab it together, haul ourselves halfway up. The water's moving fast. 30 miles an hour, maybe more. Debris everywhere. Trees, vehicle parts, bodies I'm trying not to look at. Hold on, Chloe shouts. I'm trying. My fingers are numb. The concrete's slick. Every time I adjust my grip, I slide. Behind us, the dam's completely gone. Just a gap in the valley where it used to stand. The Christmas lights, the ones that drew us here, are underwater now. Gone, like they never existed. The valley's transforming. What was dry riverbed is now a churning lake. What was forest is now debris field. The waters are racing everything, resetting the landscape to something primal and wild. And we're riding it, helpless, exhilarated. We did it, I yell. We survived it. Chloe yells back. Same thing. She's grinning. Actually grinning. Her hair's plastered to her face like blood mixing with river water, and she's grinning like we just won something instead of barely escaping death. The concrete slab hits a tree. We spin. The impact almost throws me off, but Chloe's grip is iron. She pulls me back, repositions us so we're centered, more stable. Bashers, she points. I look. Dozens of rotten in the water. The flood woke them, swept them away. They're thrashing, trying to swim, but they don't remember how. One by one they sink, pulled under by current and instinct. The valley's clearing, I realize. The flood's doing what we couldn't, flushing out the infected. Not all of them, but enough. Chloe's still watching the drowning rotten. Maybe this is how it ends. Not with cure or rescue, just nature reclaiming what we broke. The thought should be depressing. Instead, it feels like relief. We ride the wave for another hour. The water's slowing now, spreading out. We're in what used to be farmland. Flooded fields, submerged buildings, everything's underwater. Our concrete slab runs aground on a raised section of road. We slide off, collapse on the asphalt. Everything hurts. I'm coughing water. Chloe's checking her pack, soaked through, but the voice chip recorder's waterproof case held. We made it, I gasp. We made it, she agrees. I start laughing. Can't help it. It's ridiculous. We just destroyed a dam, killed dozens, flooded a valley, and we're lying on a submerged highway celebrating survival. Chloe joins in. Her laugh is sharp, startled, like she forgot how. We're insane, she says. Completely. And we're gonna die out here. Probably. But not today. Not today. We lie there laughing until our ribs hurt and the sun climbs higher and the water starts to recede. When we finally sit up, the world looks different, cleaner. like the flood washed away 6 years of accumulated darkness and left something almost hopeful behind. What now? I ask. Chloe looks at the horizon. North, away from choir territory, find somewhere the nights are longer. Why longer nights? Less rotten activity. More time to move safely. She stands, offers me her hand, and maybe, just maybe, we find other survivors who aren't trying to turn us into light bulbs. I take her hand, let her pull me up. Sounds like a plan. It's barely a plan. It's a direction with optimism attached. Still counts. We start walking. The road's slick, covered in silt and river debris, but it's headed north, away from the valley, away from the dam, away from Mother Lux and her chandelier crown and her belief that light is salvation. My chest hurts with every step, the shrapnel's shifting. I can feel it moving inside, grinding against ribs. I don't mention it. Don't want to worry Chloe when we're finally having a good moment. She notices anyway. You're limping, just sore. You're lying, just a little. She stops, turns to face me. How bad? I'll make it. That's not what I asked. I meet her eyes. Bad enough that I'm scared, not bad enough that I'm giving up. She nods, accepts it. Okay, but when it gets worse, I'll tell you. Promise? Promise. We keep walking. The sun climbs higher, the water recedes further, and somewhere behind us, the valley transforms from tomb to cradle, ready to birth something new from the ruins we left behind. Chapter 20. The Cost of Flood. The muddy bank is where the water finally spits us out. Chloe drags me the last 10 feet because my legs stopped working half a mile back. Everything's brown, mud, sky, clothes. Can't tell where the river ends and the ground begins. I'm on my back, staring up at clouds. They're moving too fast, or I'm dizzy. Hard to tell. Alan. Her voice sounds far away, muffled. Alan, look at me. I try. Everything's blurry. She's leaning over me, hair dripping, face pale. You're bleeding, she says. Where? Everywhere. She's pulling open my jacket. The shrapnel moved. It's through. I look down. There's blood, a lot of it, spreading across my shirt in a red stain that looks too big to be just from me. Okay, I hear myself say. That's not good. No, it's not. She's already digging in her pack, the waterproof med kit. I need to operate. Here. Now. We don't have supplies. I have a box cutter and vodka. It'll have to work. Chloe, shut up. Let me think. She's arranging things. The box cutter, the vodka. Gauze that's probably contaminated by river water, but it's all we have. Her hands are shaking. You can do this, I say. I don't know if I can. You saved Margot. Margot was a kid with an infected implant site. You have a piece of metal that's punctured your lung. If I remove it wrong, you'll drown in your own blood. Then don't remove it wrong. She makes a sound, might be a laugh. Your confidence is terrifying. Your competence is reassuring. She meets my eyes. Hers are wet. If this doesn't work, it will. But if it doesn't, then I die knowing the last thing I saw was you trying to save me. There are worse endings. She shakes her head. You're impossible. I'm realistic. You're in shock. Talking nonsense. Maybe. Everything feels distant. Floaty. The pain's still there, but it's muted now, like someone turned down the volume. Alan, I need you to stay conscious. Can you do that? I'll try. Don't try. Do. She pours vodka over the box cutter. The smell makes my eyes water. Then she's cutting my shirt away, exposing the wound. I don't look. Don't want to see. This is gonna hurt, she says. I figured. The blade touches skin. Pain explodes. White hot. I try not to scream, but something comes out anyway. Wordless. Animal. Sorry. She's working fast. I can feel her hands inside the wound. Searching. Almost got it. Something shifts. The pain spikes. Then releases. She pulls her hand out. The shrapnel's in her palm. Twisted metal about 2 inches long. Blood covered. Got it, she whispers. I try to answer, but my chest won't inflate. Can't breathe. Can't. Punctured lung. Knew it. She's packing the wound with gauze. Going to create a seal. Keep pressure. Don't move. I wasn't planning on it. She works for minutes, hours. Time's meaningless. I focus on her face. The way her jaw's set. The way she's counting under her breath. Not heartbeats this time. Surgical steps. Memorized protocol. Done, she says finally. It's crude. It's ugly. But you'll breathe. I try. Shallow breath. It works. Hurts like hell, but works. Thank you, I gasp. Don't thank me yet. Infection could still kill you, or the seal could fail, or... Thank you anyway. She sits back. She's covered in my blood. Her hands are shaking worse now, adrenaline wearing off. I can't lose you, she says quietly. You won't. You don't know that. I know you. You'll find a way. She makes that sound again, the one that's not quite a laugh. Your faith is going to get you killed. My faith already saved my life. We sit there on the muddy bank, me bleeding, her shaking, the sun climbing higher behind clouds that still look too fast. How far to the next town, I ask. Maybe 10 miles, if we're lucky. And if we're not, can I make it? She looks at me. Really looks. Clinical assessment. No, not walking. Then we wait. For what? For me to be able to walk. That could be days. Then days it is. She shakes her head but doesn't argue. Just starts setting up a makeshift camp on the bank, using debris for shelter, hanging wet clothes to dry, normal things, survival things. I watch her work. Every movement is precise, practiced. She's done this before, too many times before. Chloe. Yeah, we already blew up the world for each other. She stops. What? That's what you said. Back at the dam, we already blew up the world for each other. I try to sit up. Pain flares. Worth it. You were right. She's quiet for a long moment. Then she comes over, sits beside me, careful not to jostle the wound. Yeah, she says softly. I was. We sit together on the muddy bank while the river recedes and my chest bleeds, and somewhere downstream the valley holds its breath, waiting to see what grows from the flood. Chapter 21. Glass Lung Lullaby. The first snow tastes like metal. Alan's eyes are half open when it lands on his cheek, melting into the blood at the corner of his mouth. He's been coughing for 3 hours. Not the shallow kind, the deep kind that sounds like tearing fabric. I'm holding a medical textbook I found in a school library 2 days back. Water damage ate through half the pages. The section on chest tubes is mostly intact, which means God either exists or has a sick sense of humor. You should go, Alan says. His voice is just air pushing through broken parts. I don't answer. I'm measuring the space between his ribs with my fingers, counting the gaps the way the book shows. 5th intercostal space. The skin there is gray-blue like meat left out too long. Chloe? Shut up. I mean it. I press harder. He winces. Good, means he can still feel things. We already blew up the world for each other. Little late for the noble sacrifice speech. He tries to laugh. It turns into another cough, wet and rattling. Red bubbles at his lips. The shrapnel from the lantern, the piece I couldn't get out, it's finally punched all the way through. His left lung is filling with blood. I've got a plastic tube from a busted aquarium filter, half a bottle of vodka, and the box cutter from back at the vending machine. The book says I need a scalpel, sterile gloves, local anesthetic. The book was written for a world that doesn't exist anymore. You don't have to watch, I say. Alan touches his sternum. Old habit. Where his dog tags used to hang before he traded them for antibiotics in some town I can't remember the name of. If you're doing this, I'm watching. I pour vodka over the blade. The smell cuts through the cold. My hands are steady. That's the Air Force training. Count heartbeats on your fingertips. 62 per minute. His, not mine. Mine are too fast to count. The book says to make a 1-inch incision parallel to the rib. I put the blade against his skin. He doesn't look away. Neither do I. The cut is clean. Blood wells up slower than I expected, dark and thick. I wipe it away with a piece of torn shirt. The fascia underneath looks like wet paper. I push the tube in. Alan's hand clamps on my wrist, not stopping me, just holding on. The tube slides between the ribs. I feel it catch, then give. Air hisses out, then blood, then more air. Alan's breathing changes, shallower but easier. The purple tint around his mouth fades a little. I tie the tube in place with bootlaces. It's not sterile, it's not proper, but it's working. There, I say. My voice sounds strange, too loud in the quiet snow. Alan's eyes are wet, not crying, just leaking. Thank you. Don't. I'm already packing up the textbook, the vodka, the blade. We're not done yet. There's a clinic up north, underground choir territory. We get you there, they can do this right. How far? 100 miles. Maybe more. I don't tell him I'm guessing. Don't tell him the map's mostly memory at this point. He closes his eyes. The snow is falling harder now, covering his hair, his shoulders. I watch his chest rise and fall around the tube. 18-hour nights up here. Winter settling in. If we move him wrong, the tube comes out. If we don't move, he freezes. Chloe. Yeah. If I don't make it, you're making it. Tell Elias I tried. I don't answer. Can't. The words are stuck somewhere behind my teeth. Instead, I kiss his temple right where the snow is melting into his skin. His fever's breaking. That's good. That means the infection hasn't spread yet. Yes, we already blew up the world for each other, I say again, quieter this time. You don't get to leave me with that. Alan's breathing evens out. Not sleep, closer to unconsciousness. The tube bubbles with each exhale, pink foam. The book said that's normal for the first hour. I pull his coat tighter around him and stand. My knees crack. The snow is deep enough now to cover our tracks. That's useful. The choir, what's left of them, will be looking for us. Mother Lux might be dead, but her cathedral turned into a beacon. Every infected for 50 miles saw that light. North, 100 miles. In 18-hour nights with a man who can't walk and a tube in his chest that could kill him if it shifts wrong. I checked the pistol. 3 rounds left. The Christmas lights are still in my pack. 5 bulbs left on the string, all of them empty sockets now. I kept them anyway. Don't know why. The wind picks up. Through the trees, something moves. Too far to see clearly, but the gait is wrong. Stiff-legged. Basher, maybe. Or just a deer. I kneel back down next to Alan. His pulse is steady under my fingers. 60 beats per minute now. The tube is holding. We're going to make it, I whisper, trying to convince myself, maybe, or him, or the snow. The first curfew bell of winter rings somewhere to the south, 15 minutes until full dark. I lift Alan onto my shoulders in a fireman's carry. He doesn't wake up. The tube stays in place, 1 foot in front of the other. North, always north. The snow falls heavier, and in the distance something howls. Not human, not anymore. Chapter 22. The Underground Choir. The sign language is mostly hand shapes I don't recognize. The girl teaching me has 3 fingers missing on her left hand. Frostbite, not violence, judging by the clean stumps. She forms the sign for darkness by covering her eyes with both palms, then opening them like a flower blooming in reverse. Alan's asleep in the corner. Real sleep this time, not the half-conscious drifting he's been doing for the last week. The ex-choir kids gave him something, tea made from willow bark, and something else they wouldn't name. The tube in his chest is still there, taped in place with duct tape and prayer, but his breathing sounds better. Less like drowning, more like just being tired. We've been here 3 days. Underground. Literally. The kids dug this place out of an old subway tunnel, past the station, deep in the maintenance corridors where even the rats don't go anymore. No light. Not even glow sticks, except for the ones kept inside black bags sealed tight. The kids call them port stars, sailor slang. Refugee talk from when the coasts emptied and everyone ran inland. The girl, her name sounds like a click and a hum, so I just call her Click. She's teaching me the basics. Food, water, danger, safe. The signs are efficient. No wasted movement. Everything means something. I practice the sign for thank you. 2 fingers to my lips, then away. Click shakes her head. I did it wrong. She shows me again slower. 3 fingers, not 2. 2 fingers means I'm sorry. In the dark, the difference matters. Alan whistles in his sleep, a single note, low and steady. Click perks up. She whistles back, 2 notes, higher, a question maybe, or a greeting. He's learning, I sign, fumbling through the shapes. Click nods. She signs something I don't catch, then switches to words. Her voice is barely a whisper, rough from disuse. Darkness is sacred. Yeah? Mother Lux taught us light was salvation, but down here, she trails off, signs something instead. The shape looks like cupped hands. Down here, we learn to carry dark inside us. It's safer. I think about the dam, the chandelier crown, the kids with bulbs sewn under their skin. How many of them made it out before the flood? How many are down here now trying to forget what it felt like to be a living lighthouse? Your friend, Click says. He's loud. Loud how? His breathing. The tube. She points to her own chest. Every exhale sounds like a question. I listen. She's right. The tube hisses with each breath, soft but constant. In total silence, it's like a siren. Can you fix it? Click shakes her head. We can teach him quiet. She whistles again, 3 notes, descending. Morse? Old world? He was military? I was. He wasn't. Same difference. Soldiers remember order. She stands. Come. I follow her deeper into the tunnel. The blackness is absolute. I trail my hand along the wall, counting steps. 47. Then the space opens up. I can feel it in the air, the way sound stops traveling straight. Click strikes a match, just for a second. In the flare, I see 24 faces. Kids, mostly, teenagers, a few adults, all of them staring at the flame like it's the most dangerous thing in the world. Then she drops it in a bucket of sand. Darkness rushes back in. This is congregation, Click whispers. Every evening, we practice remembering the light, so we're not afraid when we have to face it. Someone whistles. A complex pattern. 8 notes, repeating. Others join in. It sounds like birds, like a forest waking up, like something alive that doesn't need eyes to see. Your friend will learn this, Click says. And you. Why? Because trust without speech is the only kind that survives down here. She touches my arm, and because the choir is still hunting you. My stomach tightens. How do you know? We heard them. 2 days ago, Port Dark Patrol found tracks near the old entrance. Fresh. 3 sets. They were using red filters. Her voice drops even lower. Mother Lux's inner circle. The ones who believed the hardest. She's dead. Belief doesn't die with the believer. Click squeezes my arm once, then lets go. You rest. Tomorrow, we teach your friend to whistle code, and you learn to sign in the dark. Because when they find this place, and they will, you'll need to speak without sound. The congregation keeps whistling. The pattern shifts, becomes something sadder, a lullaby maybe, or a dirge. I make my way back to Alan by counting steps in reverse. 47. He's still sleeping, still whistling that single low note. I sit next to him, check the tube. No fresh blood, no pink foam, just clear fluid. Good. Outside, if outside means anything in a tunnel, something scrapes against metal. Distant, could be wind, could be something else. I rest my hand on Alan's shoulder. His pulse is steady under my palm. 62 beats per minute, the same rhythm as my own. The whistling in the congregation hall fades. Silence rushes in to fill the gaps. I practice the sign for darkness in the black. Cover my eyes, open them like a flower blooming backward. In the absence of light, you learn what safety really means, and then from somewhere deeper in the tunnel, a different sound. Not whistling, not scraping, a voice, soft as smoke, singing. Dawn inside, bright deliverance for the children of the light. Mother Lux's hymn. Alan's first whistle, a single perfect note, cuts through the dark. Chapter 23, The Mirror Wound. The radio crackles to life at 400 hours. I know it's 400 because my body still keeps military time, even though there's no sun to set a watch by anymore. The voice that comes through is a lullaby, wrapped in static. To the woman who turned off the world, Mother Lux says, I have something you want. Alan's still sleeping. The tube in his chest whistles softly. Click and the others are deeper in the tunnel. I can hear the faint pattern of their congregation whistles, muffled by distance and stone. I should turn the radio off. I should smash it against the wall. I don't. I know you can hear me, Lux continues. Her voice hasn't changed. Still that library quiet calm. Still the cadence of someone reading a bedtime story to a child who won't sleep. I know you're listening, Chloe Monroe. Captain Chloe Monroe, United States Air Force, communications officer. The woman who gave the order. The woman who flipped the switch. My hand finds the volume knob, turns it down, not off. I have the boy, she says. 5 years old when you took the light away. 11 now. Beautiful, undamaged, kept in perfect darkness, just the way you'd want. He doesn't even remember what sunlight feels like. I stop breathing. His name is Elias. His father, well, his father is there with you, isn't he? Sleeping. Dying, perhaps. That tube in his chest. How long before infection sets in? How long before his lung collapses completely? The static swells. Through it I hear something else, a sound like clicking, not from the tunnel, from the radio. A child's voice making echolocation sounds, the tongue pop pattern we use down here, the language of the dark. He's adapted beautifully, Lux says. I've taught him everything. How to navigate without sight, how to listen for heartbeats, how to survive in the world you created when you murdered the light. Alan stirs. His eyes flutter but don't open. The tube gurgles. I press my hand over his mouth gently to keep him quiet. A simple trade, Lux says. You for the boy, your sinner blood for his innocence. Walk north to the old cathedral ruins. Come alone. When the sun rises, and yes, Chloe, I know you remember what sunrise looks like, stand in the center where everyone can see you. I'll bring Elias. We'll make the exchange. The clicking from the radio intensifies. I recognize the pattern now. It's not random. It's Morse code, translated into tongue pops. H-E-L-P, over and over. H-E-L-P. You have until dawn, Lux says. If you don't come, I'll teach the boy what light feels like. I'll stitch a bulb under his skin, right here above his heart, and turn it on. And I'll make sure his father hears every scream over the radio. The transmission cuts. The radio goes dead. Silence. Just the drip of water somewhere deep in the tunnel. Just Alan's breathing. Just my heartbeat in my ears, too fast, too loud. I count to 60 on my fingertips, 1 beat per second, trying to stay calm, trying to think. Alan's wound mirrors Elias's captivity. A father trapped in failing flesh, a son trapped in a light-proof cage. Both of them needing extraction, both of them running out of time. I look at the tube in Alan's chest. The duct tape is peeling at the edges. Another few days and the seal will fail. Infection, collapse, death. In that order. If I leave, he dies. If I don't leave, Elias dies. If I wake Alan and tell him, he'll try to go himself. He'll pull the tube out, stumble north on a perforated lung, and collapse before he reaches the ruins. I know what he'd choose. He'd choose his son. Every time. That's what fathers do. That's what I'd do too if I thought I could save them both. But I can't. So I do what soldiers do when the mission parameters are impossible. I improvise. I pull out my notebook, the one I use to draw destroyed buildings. I've never drawn a person in it, not once, but I draw one now. Quick sketch. A man with a tube in his chest. A woman standing over him. A child in a cage made of light. Underneath I write 3 words in pencil. Trust beats light. I tuck the notebook under Alan's hand. He'll find it when he wakes up. Then I take the voice chip recorder out of the tin with the gauze. Press record. Hold it close to my mouth so the words won't travel far. Alan, don't follow me. Don't pull the tube. Stay with Click. She'll keep you alive long enough. I'm going to get your son. I'm going to bring him back. This is what we do. We blow up the world for each other. This is my turn. I pause. There's more to say, but the words don't come, so I say the only thing that matters. I love you. Elias will too. I stop recording, rewind, play it back once to make sure it captured. My voice sounds steadier than I feel. I leave the chip next to the notebook. The pistol has 3 rounds. I take it anyway. The Christmas lights go in my pack, 5 empty sockets on a string. I take those too. Don't know why. Maybe because they started this. Maybe because they need to be there when it ends. The tunnel is black. I count steps in reverse. 47 to the congregation hall. Click is there, whistling with the others. She stops when I pass. Doesn't ask where I'm going. Maybe she already knows. At the tunnel mouth I stop. Turn back. The darkness is complete. I can't see Alan. Can't see the recorder. Can't see anything but the shape of what I'm leaving behind. I make the sign for darkness one last time. Cover my eyes, open them like a flower blooming backward. Then I leave. The snow outside is knee-deep. The wind cuts through my coat. North, always north, toward the ruins, toward the woman who taught the world to worship light, toward the boy who learned to see in the dark. My hands are steady. My heartbeat is slow, 62 per minute, the same as Alan's. Behind me, faint through the wind, I hear it. Alan's first whistle. A single, perfect note that sounds like a question. I don't answer. Chapter 24, The Lie of Light. The cathedral used to be 3 airplanes. I can still see the tail sections jutting out at angles, wings bent and welded into walls. Someone, Lux probably, turned the wreckage into a church. The windows are headlights, dozens of them, all different sizes, all facing inward. During the day, they're just dead glass. But I know what happens when she powers them on. I'm watching from a half-collapsed parking structure 200 yards out. The sun's still down. Another hour until dawn. My breath ghosts sideways in the cold. The pistol is in my hand, but I haven't checked the chamber. 3 rounds. I counted them yesterday. Counting again won't make more appear. The cathedral's main entrance is a cargo door from a 747. Hydraulics still work, apparently, because it opens smoothly. No rust screech, just a whisper of metal on metal. A figure steps out, too small to be Lux. A kid, maybe 13, wearing a headlamp with the bulb painted red. The filter makes the light look like blood in the snow. The kid makes a sweeping gesture, come forward, then goes back inside. This is the trap, obviously. Walk into the church full of headlights and Lux turns them all on at once. Every rotten for miles wakes up and comes running. I die, Elias stays in the cage. Alan dies in the tunnel, wondering why I never came back. But if I don't walk in, Lux stitches that bulb under Elias's skin, and I live long enough to hear him scream over the radio. I holster the pistol, check my pack. The Christmas lights are still there, 5 empty sockets. I unclip them from the pack, wrap them around my wrist twice like a bracelet. The plastic digs into my skin. Then I walk down from the parking structure, through the snow, toward the cargo door. It's still open. The kid with the red lamp is gone. Inside, the cathedral is a nightmare of reflective surfaces. The headlights are everywhere, mounted on struts, hanging from chains, embedded in the floor like landmines. All of them dark, for now. The space smells like aviation fuel and wet metal, like the base where I gave the order, where I told them to cut the power, where my parents were still in the elevator when the grid went black. "Welcome," Lux says from somewhere above. I look up. She's standing on a catwalk made from wing sections. The chandelier crown is gone, melted in the explosion probably, but she's replaced it with something worse. LEDs stitched under the skin of her arms, her throat, her forehead. They're off, but I can see the outlines. She looks like a circuit board, like a map of light waiting to be activated. "Where's Elias?" "Close." She descends a ladder, moves slowly, deliberately. The LEDs pulse once with each step, just a flicker, too fast to wake anything. "Where's Alan?" "Not here." Obviously, she reaches the floor, stops 10 feet away, close enough to talk, far enough that I can't rush her. Dying, I assume. That tube is temporary. Even you know that. "The trade," I say. "You said a trade." "I did." She smiles. The LEDs in her throat glow faint blue. "Your blood for his innocence. The woman who killed the light offered up to restore it. Poetic, don't you think?" "Where is Elias?" Lux turns, points to the back of the cathedral. There's a cage there, chain-link fence bent into a cube maybe 6 feet on each side. Inside a shape. Small. Curled up. I can't see details from here, but I hear it. The clicking. The tongue pops. The language of the dark. "He's been in there for 37 days, Lux says. "I brought him up from the tunnels after the dam fell. He doesn't speak. Hasn't. Not since I took him. Just makes those sounds. Like an animal." The shape in the cage uncurls. Stands. I see him now. Skinny. Long hair. Eyes that don't focus on anything. He's holding something. Scraps of aluminum foil, folded and refolded into shapes. Stars, maybe. His version of light. The kind that doesn't burn. "Elias," I say. My voice cracks. The boy's head tilts. The clicking stops. "He can't hear you," Lux says. "Not clearly. The cage is soundproofed. I wanted him to forget what voices sound like, wanted him to rely only on echoes, but—" She pauses. "He's stubborn. Like his father, I imagine." I take a step forward. Lux raises one hand. The LEDs in her palm flare bright. Just for a second. Just long enough to remind me what happens if she activates the headlights. "The trade first," she says. "You kneel. I chain you under the chandelier's remains, right there in the center. Then I bring the boy to you. You stay." He goes. "And Alan?" "I don't care about Alan. He's dead already, just taking his time about it." Her smile widens. "But you, Captain Monroe, you're the one who turned off the world. You're the sin that needs cleansing." I look at the cage, at Elias, at his foil stars, at the way his hands move in patterns even when no one's watching. He's learned the language. The one Click taught me, the one Alan's learning in his sleep. He's already one of us. "Okay," I say. Lux blinks. "Okay?" I kneel. You chain me. You let him go. I meet her eyes, but I want to see him walk out first. I want to watch him leave before you turn those lights on. That's not the trade. Then there's no trade. We stare at each other. Her LEDs pulse. My heartbeat stays steady. 62 per minute. The same as Alan's. The same as it's always been. Finally, Lux nods. "Fine. Just kneel." I do. The floor is cold, metal grating that digs into my knees. She circles behind me, pulls my arms back, loops chain around my wrists. The links are heavy. Aircraft grade. "I'm not breaking out of this. Your pistol," she says. I don't move. She reaches around, takes it from the holster, checks the chamber. 3 rounds. You were really going to fight me with 3 rounds? I was really going to shoot you with 1, I say. The other 2 were for me and the kid if you didn't cooperate. Lux laughs. Soft as smoke. Honesty. How refreshing. She pockets the gun, walks to the cage, opens it with a key she pulls from around her neck. Elias doesn't move at first, just stands there, clicking. Lux reaches in, grabs his arm, pulls him out. He doesn't resist, doesn't fight, just goes limp like he's learned that fighting makes things worse. She drags him to the center of the cathedral, stops 5 feet from me. Say hello to your Aunt Elias. This is the woman who killed your mother, who killed everyone's mothers. She turned off the light and let the darkness eat the world." Elias's eyes find me. They're Alan's eyes. Same color, same shape, but empty, like looking into a well with no bottom. "Go," I say to him. My voice is steady. Walk out. Don't stop. Don't look back. Your dad's waiting." The boy tilts his head, clicks once, then twice, then 3 times. Morse code in tongue pops, DAD. My throat tightens. Yeah, he's alive. He's waiting for you, north, in the tunnels. The kids with the black bag stars will take you to him. Lux lets go of Elias's arm. "Go on then. Walk." The boy doesn't move. "Walk," Lux says again, sharper. Elias looks at me, at the chains, at the headlights all around us. Then he looks at Lux and he clicks. One long pattern, 8 notes, the same one I heard in the congregation hall, the lullaby, the dirge. Lux's face goes hard. I said walk. Elias sits down, right there, 5 feet from me. He pulls out a piece of foil, starts folding it, making another star. "Get up," Lux hisses. The boy doesn't move. She grabs him by the hair. Lifts. He goes limp again, lets her drag him toward the door. But his hands keep folding. Keep making stars. Keep clicking that 8-note pattern. At the door, he drops the foil star. It lands in the snow, catches the pre-dawn light. Lux shoves him out, slams the cargo door shut, turns back to me. Her LEDs are glowing now, all of them, bright enough to hurt. "He'll come back," she says. "They always come back, and when he does, I'll teach him what happens to people who choose darkness." She walks to a control panel near the chandelier's remains, puts her hand on a lever. "Any last words, Captain?" I look at the chains on my wrists, at the headlights surrounding me, at the Christmas lights still wrapped around my wrist like a bracelet, at the cargo door where Elias just left. "Yeah," I say, "your cathedral's wired wrong." Lux pauses. "What?" "The headlights. They're in series, not parallel. One break in the circuit kills the whole system." I smile. I was a communications officer. I know how power grids work. Her hand tightens on the lever. I hear it then, from outside, from the tunnels, whistling. Not one voice, dozens. The congregation, Click and her ex-choir kids, all of them, making the 8-note pattern, the lullaby, the dirge, and underneath it, faint but steady, Alan's single perfect note. Lux pulls the lever. The headlights don't turn on, because somewhere in the walls, somewhere in the wiring, someone cut the line. The cathedral stays dark, and from the cargo door I hear the hydraulics hiss open again. Chapter 25. Father of Shadows. Alan shouldn't be standing. The tubes still in his chest, taped and gurgling, and his face is the color of old snow. But he's standing anyway, one hand on the cargo door frame, the other holding the box cutter from the vending machine. Elias is next to him. The boy's hand is wrapped tight around his father's belt, keeping him upright. I don't know how they got here. Don't know how Alan made it from the tunnel to the cathedral ruins without collapsing. Don't want to know what it cost him. Lux is staring at them. Her LEDs flare bright, brighter, brightest, then die. The circuits under her skin sizzle. The smell of burning flesh fills the cathedral. You, she says to Alan. Just that. You. Alan takes a step forward. Elias moves with him, still holding on. The boy's clicking stops. He's watching his father. Learning what it means to stand when standing shouldn't be possible. The generator, Lux says. Her voice is still that library quiet, but there's something underneath it now. Something sharp. You cut the line. Didn't have to, Alan says. His words come out in pieces, broken up by breathing. Your kids, the ones you stitched, they cut it for me. He touches his sternum. Old habit. Turns out nobody likes having bulbs under their skin. Lux lunges for the control panel. Alan lunges for her. They meet in the middle, her hands on the lever, his hands on her throat. The box cutter clatters to the floor. Elias lets go of Alan's belt, runs to me. His hands find the chains on my wrists, start working the links. He's fast, knows exactly where to twist, where to pull. 5 years in a cage teaches you about locks. Alan and Lux fall. She's stronger than she looks. Gets a knee into his chest, right where the tube enters. Alan screams. The sound echoes off the headlights, off the airplane walls, off every reflective surface. The chains snap open. My wrists are free. I grab the box cutter, move toward them. But Lux sees me coming. She rolls off Alan, grabs something from her coat. A battery, one of Alan's, the one he carried as a grenade. She must have taken it from the cathedral wreckage, saved it, kept it for this exact moment. Final offering, she says, smiling now, blood on her teeth from where Alan hit her. The light that cleanses all sins. She throws it at the control panel. The battery hits the lever. Sparks. The panel shorts. And somehow, impossibly, the headlights stutter to life. Not all of them, just a few, just enough. The first one clicks on, then the second, then a dozen more. The cathedral floods with white-hot brightness. I can't see, can't think. Just that copper smell, that high-pitched whine, that skin-prickling heat. Heat. Outside, something howls, the rotten, waking up, answering the light. Dad! Elias screams, his first word, ever. Not a click, not a pop, a word. Alan's on the floor, not moving. The tube in his chest is leaking. Red foam bubbles at the exit site. His lung collapsed when Lux kneed him. I grab Elias, pull him toward the cargo door. We have to go, now! No! He's fighting me, clawing. Dad! Dad! Lux is at the control panel, throwing switches. More headlights flare on. The howling outside gets louder, closer. The cathedral is a beacon now, a lighthouse calling everything dead to come home. Alan's eyes open, just barely. He sees Elias, sees me dragging his son toward the door. He smiles, then he rolls over, pushes himself up on one arm, crawls toward the control panel. What are you doing? Lux shouts. Alan doesn't answer. He grabs the lever she was holding, pulls it down. Hard. The headlights surge. The entire grid overloads. The lights don't just turn on, they explode. Glass raining everywhere, shards embedding in the walls, the floor, Lux's skin. She screams. The LEDs under her flesh burst, one by one. Pop, pop, pop. Like firecrackers, like a string of Christmas lights failing. Alan falls. The lever falls with him. The cathedral plunges into darkness. Total, complete. I can't see, can only hear. Elias breathing. Lux gasping. The rotten outside still howling but confused now. The light's gone. They don't know where to swarm. Elias, I whisper. Click for me. Show me the way. The boy makes a sound. One tongue pop, then two, then a whole pattern. The 8-note lullaby. He's mapping the space. Seeing with sound the way Click taught him, I follow the pattern. Drag him with me. We stumble over something soft. Lux, maybe, or one of her kids. We don't stop. The cargo door is still open. Pre-dawn light spills through, just enough to see shapes, not enough to wake the rotten. We're in the golden hour, the safe window between night and day. Dad, Elias says again. Not screaming now, crying. I look back. Alan's still in there, still on the floor, not moving. He chose you? I say. He chose the dark. He chose to make sure you could see. Elias's face crumples. He makes a sound that's half click, half sob. Behind us, inside the cathedral, something moves. Footsteps, slow, dragging. I pull Elias through the door, into the snow, into the dawn. We run. The cathedral behind us is silent, just broken glass and dead lights and the smell of burned circuits and Alan. Always Alan. Choosing darkness so his son could find the light that doesn't burn. The sun breaks the horizon, orange and clean and safe. The rotten go still. Elias clicks one last time, the 8-note pattern, the lullaby, the dirge. His father doesn't answer. Chapter 26, the choir's last psalm. Mother Lux isn't dead. I know because I hear her singing. We're at the cathedral's edge, me and Elias, halfway between the cargo door and the tree line when the hymn starts. Soft, steady, the same lullaby cadence she always used. Dawn inside, bright deliverance for the children of the light. Elias stops running, his hand tightens on mine. Keep moving, I say. He doesn't. He's staring back at the cathedral, at the broken headlights, at the cargo door still hanging open. I see her then, climbing out of the wreckage. Half her face is burned, skin peeled back to show muscle and bone underneath. The LEDs that didn't burst are still glowing faint blue in her arms. She's holding something. Alan's pistol, the one she took from me. 3 rounds. Chloe Monroe, she calls. Her voice is still gentle, still that bedtime story rhythm. You can't run from the light. It follows. It always follows. I push Elias behind me. Go. Tree line. Don't stop. Not without you, he says. His voice cracks. Still learning how to use it? I'll be right behind you. Liar. He's Alan's kid. Smart. Sees through the bullshit faster than his father ever did. Lux is walking toward us now. Slow. No rush. The sun's up. The rotten are dormant. We've got hours until twilight. Hours for this to play out. I offered you salvation, she says. I offered you purpose. A world where light could be controlled, managed, made safe. She raises the pistol, points it at Elias. And you chose chaos. You chose the dark. You chose to let the world eat itself. Yeah, I say. I did. Why? Because light doesn't save people. People save people. I take a step forward, putting myself between her and the boy. And you were never interested in saving anyone, just controlling them. Lux laughs. The sound is wet. Wrong. Blood in her throat. Control is salvation. Without it, you get this. She gestures at the cathedral, at the ruins, at the wasteland beyond. Entropy. Darkness. Death. Better than what you were building. Was it? She cocks the pistol. Your parents didn't think so when the grid went dark, when the elevators stopped, when they were trapped in that shaft waiting for help that never came. Do you think they believed darkness was better? My hand finds the Christmas lights on my wrist, the 5 empty sockets. I pull them free, hold them up. This is what you worshipped, I say. Plastic and glass. Something that burns out, something that dies. I drop them in the snow. I worshipped people, I still do. Lux's finger tightens on the trigger. Behind me, Elias clicks. One long pattern. Not the lullaby this time. Something different. A warning or a goodbye. The shot doesn't come. Instead, there's a voice from the cargo door. Rough. Broken. Barely there. Hey, Alan. He's standing in the doorway. One hand on the frame, the other holding something. The battery, the one Lux threw, the one that started this. He's holding it like a grenade. You want light, he says. Here's light. He squeezes. The battery splits, sparks, catches fire. Then he throws it. Not at us, at the cathedral, at the control panel, at the broken headlights and the shattered glass and the whole wired wrong infrastructure Lux built to make the world worship brightness. The explosion isn't loud, just a sharp crack, like breaking ice. But it's enough. The headlights that didn't shatter, the ones still hanging by wires, they catch, ignite. The aviation fuel Lux used to weld the planes together, it goes up. The whole cathedral becomes a fireball. Lux screams, turns toward it. The pistol drops from her hand. No, she whispers. No, no, no. The flames spread. Fast, too fast. The entire structure is fuel and metal and dead light. It burns orange and white and blinding. Every rotten for 50 miles will see this. Run, I say to Elias. This time he does. We sprint for the tree line. I don't look back. Don't need to. I can feel the heat on my neck, can smell the burning plastic, can hear Lux screaming as the cathedral collapses inward. At the trees, I risk a glance. Still in the doorway, still standing. The flames are behind him, around him, but he's not running. He's watching us, making sure we made it. He touches his sternum, where the dog tags used to be. Then he turns, walks back into the fire. Dad! Elias screams. I grab him, cover his eyes. The cathedral roof collapses. The whole structure folds in on itself. Smoke and ash and light so bright it hurts. Then silence. Just the crackle of flames. Just the wind in the trees. Elias is sobbing, not clicking anymore, just crying. The way kids are supposed to cry, the way he couldn't when he was in the cage. I hold him tighter, count heartbeats on his back, 90 per minute. Too fast, but alive. We stay like that until the sun is high enough to see clearly. The cathedral is gone, just twisted metal and smoke, no bodies visible. Just ash, and in the snow where I dropped them, the Christmas lights, 5 empty sockets on a string. The wind catches them, makes them rattle like bells. Elias pulls away from me, wipes his face, looks at the smoke. He chose the dark, he says. Yeah, for me, for both of us. The boy is quiet for a long time, then he clicks, one note, soft. What does that mean, I ask. Thank you, he says, in the old language, before words. I pick up the Christmas lights, wrap them around my wrist again. Come on, we have a long walk. Where? North. There's a place. Twilight lasts 20 hours. You'll like it. He takes my hand. We walk into the trees. Behind us, the cathedral burns. The light it makes is beautiful and deadly and temporary. The way all light is. Chapter 27, Running into Dawn. The lake is a mirror. 2 kilometers across, frozen solid. The moon's still up, reflecting off the ice like a second sun. Every step we take casts a shadow. Every shadow could wake the rotten sleeping in the ruins behind us. Elias is leading. Not me. The boy can see in the dark better than I can. He clicks as he walks. 1 pop every 3 steps, mapping the ice for cracks, for thin spots, for places where the freeze didn't hold. I'm following his rhythm, trusting it. Behind us, the cathedral is still burning. The smoke column rises straight up, no wind to bend it. The glow turns the snow orange, turns the sky orange, turns everything into a beacon. They're coming, I can hear them. That bass note growl that you feel in your pelvis, dozens of them, maybe hundreds, following the light, following the fire, following us. Faster, I say. Elias doesn't speed up, just clicks, steady. His hand is wrapped around mine, small, warm. Alan's hand, the same shape, the same way of holding on like letting go means falling. Halfway across the lake, I hear it. Helicopter blades. Elias hears it too, stops clicking, looks up. The moon is bright enough to see his face, Alan's eyes, Alan's mouth, Alan's stubborn set to his jaw. Rescue, I say. The chopper comes in low from the north. Military. I recognize the model, Black Hawk, modified for cold weather ops. Spotlights sweep the ice. Find us. Lock on. It hovers 30 feet up. The downwash kicks up snow, ice crystals, frozen air. A rope drops, then a harness, then a voice over a loudspeaker. 2 survivors. Prepare for extraction. Hazmat suits required. Hazmat suits, because we've been exposed. because the spores could be on our clothes, our skin, our breath. Because anyone who's lived in the dark this long is contaminated by definition. The harness reaches the ice. A soldier leans out, face covered by a respirator, gloved hands gesturing. Hurry, I look at the harness, then at Elias, then back at the smoke rising from the cathedral. 2 seats, 2 suits. That's what the voice said. I count. Me, Elias. That's 2. But behind us something moves. A figure. Walking out of the smoke, limping, one hand pressed to his chest where the tube used to be. Alan, he's alive. No, I whispered. No, no, no. The soldier on the chopper sees him too, starts waving. 3 survivors. We need 3 suits. The voice over the loudspeaker crackles. Negative. 2 suits only. Prioritize the child and the woman. Adult male is compromised. Compromised. That's the word they use when someone's too far gone. When the spores are already in the lungs, in the blood, in the brain. When rescue means bringing the infection on board. Alan keeps walking. He's 50 yards back, then 40, then 30. His face is gray. The foam at his lips is pink, but he's smiling. He sees Elias, sees his son standing on the ice, safe, real. That's all he needed. That's all he came for. The rotten break through the tree line, not walking anymore, running. Drawn by the chopper noise, the spotlights, the movement, they sprint across the ice, fast, too fast, and the moonlight reflects off the surface bright enough to keep them awake. Bright enough to make them hunt. Get in the harness, the soldier shouts. I grab Elias, push him toward it, put it on, now, not without, now. He does. The harness cinches around his chest, too big, he's swimming in it, but it holds. The soldier starts winching him up. I look at the second harness, at Alan, at the rotten closing the distance, 20 yards, 15, 10. Alan stops running, stands in the middle of the ice, reaches into his pocket, pulls out something, a battery. The last one, he holds it up so I can see. Then he looks at me, at Elias being lifted into the chopper, at the life we're about to have. He mouths 2 words, go, run. Then he squeezes the battery. It doesn't explode, not like the last one, just splits, sparks, catches fire in his hand. He raises it high, a torch, a beacon, a false moon. The rotten see it, change direction, all of them, every single one. They forget the chopper, forget me, just run at Alan, at the light, at the thing they're programmed to chase. He turns, sprints toward the far shore, drawing them away, leading them away from us. The battery is burning his hand. I can smell it even from here, but he doesn't drop it. The rotten swarm him. I can't see. Can't tell where he ends and they begin. Just a mass of bodies and that one bright point of burning light. Ma'am, the soldier shouts. Second harness, now. I can't move. Can't look away. Elias is in the chopper, screaming, reaching for me. Chloe, Chloe! The soldier drops the second harness. It hits the ice next to me. I pick it up, put it on. My hands are shaking, not from cold, from something else. The winch activates. I'm lifted, 1 foot off the ice, then 2, then 10. Below, the swarm is dispersing. The rotten wander aimlessly. The light's gone. They're confused, shutting down, freezing mid-step like statues. I don't see Alan's body. Don't need to. The ice is red where he stood. The chopper climbs, higher. The lake shrinks below us. The cathedral smoke is just a smudge now. The mountains rise ahead, white, clean, safe. Elias is wrapped in a thermal blanket. A medic is checking him. Shining a light in his eyes, the boy doesn't flinch. Just clicks, one soft note. I sit next to him, pull him close. He's shaking. He saved us, Elias whispers. Yeah, he lit the fire so we could run. Yeah. The boy is quiet. Then, dark is just a blanket. I don't know what that means. Don't ask. Just hold him while the chopper flies north, while the sun rises behind us, while the world below becomes a map of shadows and light. Alan's battery is gone, the fourth and final, the one he carried for this exact moment, the one he used to blind them long enough for us to see. The chopper banks. The medic says something about quarantine, about decontamination, about how lucky we are. I don't feel lucky. I feel like I'm still on the ice, still watching the swarm, still seeing that one bright point of light in Alan's hand before it went dark. Elias falls asleep against me. His breathing evens out, 62 beats per minute, the same as his father's, the same as mine. The chopper carries us toward morning, and Alan stays behind, in the dark he chose for us. Chapter 28, The Last Christmas. The cabin smells like wood smoke and melting snow. We've been here 3 days. Quarantine. The soldiers say we're clean, no spores in our lungs, no infection in our blood, but they keep us isolated anyway. Protocol. Standard operating procedure for anyone coming out of the dark. Elias doesn't mind. He likes small spaces, likes the way sound bounces off the walls. He clicks sometimes just to hear the echoes, mapping the room even though he already knows every corner. I found a box in the closet, Christmas decorations, old world, tinsel, ornaments, a string of lights. The bulbs are LED, safe, supposedly. They don't trigger the rotten anymore, because there aren't any rotten this far north. The settlements here cleared them out years ago, built walls, established curfews, learned to live in the 18-hour nights without losing their minds. I pull out the string of lights, 8 bulbs, just like the ones from the cathedral, just like the ones I shot out in the liquor store a lifetime ago. Elias watches me. What are you doing? Making something. I snip the bulbs off with nail clippers, one by one. Pop, pop, pop. The plastic casings are hollow, empty, just shells. Why? Because I want to show you what Christmas looks like, what it used to look like, before. He tilts his head, before the dimming. Yeah, I crack a glow stick, the kind Click taught me to use. The kind that's safe because the light stays sealed inside black fabric. But this time I cut the fabric, let the liquid out, it glows faint green. Chemical cold. I use a syringe from the med kit to fill the hollow bulb casings, 1 drop per bulb, just enough to make them glow without burning, without waking anything. Elias watches every movement. That's not how they worked, before. No, before they burned, before they were dangerous. So why make them? I thread the filled bulbs back onto the string, hang them from a nail in the wall. They glow soft and green and harmless, like stars that don't burn, like light that doesn't kill. Because your dad loved Christmas, I say. He told me once, back when we were crossing the river, he said his son, you, used to hang lights on the tree every year. Said you'd argue about where they should go, top first or bottom first. Elias's face does something complicated. I don't remember. That's okay. I don't remember him. That's okay too. He's quiet for a long time, then, tell me. So I do. I tell him about the liquor store, about the red-green bulbs flashing across the street, about how his dad couldn't shoot them because he was afraid of wasting bullets, about how I did it instead, about how that was the first time Alan looked at me like I might be worth trusting. I tell him about the dam, about the cathedral, about how Alan crawled through the ventilation with a perforated lung to reach him, about how he smashed the generator so Elias wouldn't have to see the light, about how he chose the dark, every time, for us. Elias listens, doesn't interrupt, just clicks sometimes, soft, 1 note per sentence, like he's recording it, saving it in his own language. When I finish, he asks, "Can I hear him?" I pull out the voice chip recorder, the one I used in the tunnel, the one with Alan's whisper. His first perfect note, I press play, static, then breathing. Then Alan's voice, rough, broken, barely there. Elias, if you're hearing this, I'm gone. But you're safe, and that's all that matters. I'm sorry I couldn't teach you how to swim. Sorry I couldn't be there when you grew up, but Chloe, she's good. She'll teach you everything I couldn't. She'll keep you safe. She loves you already. I know because I know her. And if she's playing this, it means she kept her promise. It means you're alive. A pause. Coughing. The wet sound of failing lungs. I love you, kid. I always did, even when I couldn't find you, even when I thought you were gone. I never stopped looking, never stopped hoping, and now you're free. You're in the dark, but you can see, and that's the best gift I could ever give you. Dark is just a blanket. Remember that. The recording ends. Elias is crying, not the sobbing kind, just tears, quiet. running down his face while he clicks that 8-note pattern. The lullaby, the dirge. I pull him close. He doesn't resist, just leans into me the way he used to lean into Alan. He's still here, I say, in you, in the way you see in the dark, in the way you hold on when things get hard. Is that enough? It has to be. We sit like that until the glow sticks and the bulbs start to fade, until the cabin is dark again, until the only sound is our breathing and the wind rattling the hollow casings like bells. Outside, somewhere far away, a flare canister drops. The rescue is real. But for now, we stay. In this cabin, in this moment, in this last Christmas that Alan built for us before he became the light that doesn't burn. Elias falls asleep against me. I count his heartbeats. 62 per minute, the same as Alan's, the same as mine. The glow sticks fade to black, and we sit in the dark, together. Chapter 29, The Impossible Choice. The drone drops the flare at 600 hours. I know because I'm awake. I'm always awake now. Sleep feels like a luxury I don't deserve. The flare burns white hot in the snow 200 yards from the cabin. The soldiers said it was the signal. When the flare lands, the chopper follows. Final extraction. End of quarantine. Real rescue. Elias is at the window, face pressed to the glass, watching the smoke trail climb the sky. He's holding one of the foil stars he made back in the cage, folding and refolding it. Nervous habit. They're coming, he says. Yeah. For both of us. Can't, because I'm counting in my head. 2 hazmat suits on the chopper last time. 2 this time, probably. Me and Elias. That's the math. That's always been the math. Except I'm hearing something. Footsteps outside. Slow. Dragging. I look out the window. See a shape in the snow. Limping. One hand pressed to his chest. Alan. He shouldn't be here. Shouldn't be alive. The rotten swarmed him. I watched it happen. Watched the light go out in his hand. Watched the ice turn red. But he's here anyway. No, I whisper. Elias sees him too. Makes a sound. Half click, half sob. Then he's at the door, yanking it open, running into the snow. Dad! Alan catches him. Barely. The boy hits him hard enough to knock them both down. They stay there in the snow, holding each other. Alan's face is buried in Elias's hair. His shoulders are shaking. I step outside. The cold hits like a punch. How? Alan looks up. His face is wrong. Gray. Bloodless. The tube's gone, but the hole in his chest is still there, covered with gauze and duct tape and sheer willpower. Nix, he says, found me on the ice, dragged me to a safe house, gave me blood, gave me meds. He coughs, pink foam, gave me enough to make it here. Where is she? Gone, back to the tunnels, said she doesn't do goodbyes. The chopper is coming. I can hear the blades now. Distant but growing. The flare is still burning, still bright enough to guide them in. 2 seats, 2 suits. Me, Elias. That's the math. Alan stands. Elias helps him. The boy is clicking again, soft, steady, the 8-note pattern, keeping his father upright through sound. You have to go, Alan says to me. We're all going. No. He touches his sternum, the place where the dog tags used to be, the place where the hole is now. I'm compromised. Spores in my blood, too much exposure. They won't take me. They will. They have to. They won't. He looks at Elias, at his son, at the boy who learned to see in the dark because Alan chose to smash the lights. But you will. You'll take him. You'll teach him. You'll keep him safe. No, Chloe, no. I'm shaking. Not from cold, from something else. You don't get to do this. You don't get to sacrifice yourself again. I'm done watching you walk into fire. The chopper crests the ridge. Black Hawk, same as before. It hovers over the flare site. The spotlights sweep. Find us. Lock on. A voice over the loudspeaker. 2 survivors. Prepare for extraction. 2. Not 3. Alan pushes Elias toward me. Take him. Dad, take him, Chloe. Please. I grab Elias. He fights, claws, screams, but I hold on. The chopper lands, the rotors kick up snow, ice, frozen air. A soldier jumps out, hazmat suit, 2 more suits in his arms. He runs toward us, stops 10 yards out, close enough to throw. Catch! He tosses the suits. They land in the snow. I let go of Elias, pick up the first suit. It's child-sized, for him. I pick up the second. Adult. For me, 2 suits, me and Elias. That's the math. I look at Alan, at the hole in his chest, at the pink foam on his lips, at the gray skin, at the dying. Then I take off my coat, start pulling on the hazmat suit. What are you doing? Alan says. I don't answer. Just suit up. Seal the seams, check the respirator, then I take it off. Put this on, I say, holding it out to him. No. Alan, I'm already dead. You know that. I know that. This, he gestures at himself. At the gauze. At the failing. This is just taking its time. Then let it take its time somewhere safe, somewhere with doctors, somewhere that isn't here. The soldier is yelling, 30 seconds. Board or we abort. Elias grabs the second suit, the one for him, starts pulling it on. He's crying, not clicking anymore, just crying. Come on, Dad, please, 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 please. Alan kneels. Eye level with his son. You're going to be okay. You hear me? You're going to have a life, a real one, with light that doesn't burn and dark that doesn't kill. And Chloe, she's going to teach you everything, how to trust, how to fight, how to live. I don't want to live without you. I know, but you will, because you're my son, and my son doesn't quit. He kisses Elias's forehead, stands, pushes us both toward the chopper. I grab his arm. This is the part where you get on the helicopter, Alan. This is the part where we all make it. He looks at me. Really looks. The way he did in the liquor store when I shot the lights, the way he did in the turbine hall when we chose to blow the dam, the way he did on the ice before he lit the battery. Some people get saved, he says. Some people do the saving. I'm okay with which one I am. Then he pulls out something from his pocket. A battery. The last one. No, not the last. I saw him use the last on the ice. I watched it burn his hand. I watched it go dark. Where did you get that? Kept one in reserve. Always keep one in reserve. He smiles, blood on his teeth. Old habit. The soldier is at the chopper, waving. 10 seconds! Alan looks past me, at the tree line, at the ruins beyond, at the shapes moving in the shadows. Rotten, drawn by the flare, drawn by the noise, drawn by us. Go, Alan says. Run. He squeezes the battery. Sparks, smoke, fire. He runs toward the tree line, toward the rotten, holding the battery high. A beacon. A lighthouse. A father doing what fathers do. No, Elias screams. I grab him, drag him toward the chopper. He's fighting, screaming, but I don't let go. The soldier grabs Elias, pulls him into the bird. I follow. The harness cinches. The door slams. Go, 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 the pilot shouts. The chopper lifts. Fast. Too fast. My stomach drops. Below, Alan is surrounded. The rotten are swarming, but he's still running, still holding the light, still drawing them away. Then the battery goes dark. The swarm collapses inward. I can't see him anymore. Can't see anything but bodies and snow and red. Elias is sobbing, not clicking, not making any sound except grief. The chopper climbs. Higher. The flare sight shrinks below. The cabin, the tree line, the place where Alan stood. Gone. All of it. Gone. The medic is talking, saying something about vitals, about shock, about how we made it. I don't hear him. I'm counting heartbeats on my fingertips. 62 per minute, the same as Alan's, the same as mine, the same as the man we left behind in the snow. The man who lit one last fire so we could see the way home. Chapter 30. What we carry forward. The settlement has a name, but I don't use it. Just call it North. Far enough that the nights last 20 hours. Safe enough that kids play outside during the long dark without fear. We've been here 6 months. Elias teaches them how to click, how to map spaces with sound, how to see without eyes. The kids love it. They think it's a game. They don't know it's survival. I teach them how to fight. Not with guns. There aren't many rotten this far north. With words, with trust, with the kind of honesty that Alan tried to teach me, and I kept refusing until it was too late. The cabin we live in faces west. I picked it for that, so we can watch the sunset, so we can count the hours until it rises again. 20 hours of dark, 4 of light. It's enough. I'm outside when the peach tree starts to bud. I planted it 3 months ago, right next to an old solar lantern someone left on the porch. The lantern doesn't work, hasn't worked in years, But I unscrewed the bulb, left the casing empty, just a hollow shell rattling in the wind. The tree shouldn't grow here. Too cold, too dark. But it's budding anyway. Small green leaves pushing through the snow like it doesn't know it's supposed to quit. Elias comes out. He's taller now, starting to look less like a boy and more like his father. Same eyes, same stubborn jaw, same way of standing that says, I survived. You're thinking about him, he says. Yeah, me too. We stand there, watching the tree, listening to the hollow bulb rattle. I recorded something, Elias says. Wanted you to hear it. He pulls out the voice chip recorder. The same one I used in the tunnel, the same one Alan used to whisper his message. He presses play, static, then clicking, then words. Elias's voice. Steady now. Strong. World's still off. That's what Chloe says. She means the light. The old light. The kind that burned, the kind that woke the rotten. But I don't think the world's off. I think we just learned to see without eyes. Dad taught me that. Before he died, when he smashed the generator, when he chose the dark so I wouldn't have to be afraid of the light, he taught me that safety isn't about what you can see, it's about who you trust when you can't. I trust Chloe. I trust Click and Nix and the kids here who whistle in the dark. I trust the people who chose to survive together instead of alone. That's what Dad wanted. Not for me to remember him, but for me to remember that trust beats light. Every time. So, if anyone finds this recording, if anyone's still out there looking for a reason to keep going, here it is. You don't need to see to know you're safe. You just need to hold on to the people who choose to stay when everything says run. The people who light fires so you can find the way home. The people who turn off the world and teach you how to see in the dark. The recording ends. I don't know what to say, so I don't say anything. Just put my hand on Elias's shoulder. He puts his hand on mine. The sun sets. The 20-hour night begins. In the settlement, the curfew bells ring. Soft, just a reminder, not a warning. People move inside. Lights go off. The darkness settles like a blanket. Elias clicks. One soft note. I click back. A question. He clicks again. An answer. We're speaking the language now. The one Alan never got to learn. The one that says, I'm here, you're safe, we're together. The peach tree's leaves rustle, the hollow bulb rattles. The wind carries both sounds into the dark, and somewhere, far away, in a place I can't see, I imagine Alan listening, hearing his son speak without words, hearing us carry forward the world he burned himself to save. The night lasts 20 hours. We're not afraid, not anymore. Because we learned what Alan tried to teach us from the beginning, that the bravest thing you can do in the dark is trust the person holding your hand. That light doesn't save you. People do. And we're still here, still clicking, still seeing, still carrying forward the truth that the world's not off. It's just learned to see without eyes. The hollow bulb rattles one more time, then goes quiet, like a bell that finally found its rest.